Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth. You have to go back to the roots. Go to the roots. Yeah, man, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place. On a midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song. In the old neighborhood, as the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it's.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. I want to welcome all of you to another edition. Sorry, I was on, African time. I had to make sure I nourish my body before I come in so that we can have, like a nice conversation. But I want to welcome all of you in. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. So as you are seeing on the title, Africans Back Home, see you as a walking ATM. That's the topic we're going to be tackling today. And, like I have spoke about this in the past, but I haven't really, gotten deep into it, because like I've even seen some people get upset, but hey, the truth hurts, because like I'm at an age where like I've been on this earth over a period of time now. I've experienced things. I understand manipulations, and to be honest, like the African culture, especially West African culture, and many other, like West Africa to be specific. After I break it down, after you listen to this, you start thinking, you will understand that the white people are the ones that gave up slavery, but to sell humans is actually a West African thing. Like, people think about it, they groom their children to be their retirement plan. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, no, Afridamus, not me. But sure, maybe that might not be you. I mean, there can be exceptions, but that doesn't mean that's not the rule. So if you look at the mindset of most Africans, and now it's showing more and more on TikTok and Instagram, many other social media platforms, it is mostly women, the African women, that would come out. Because, like the men, if they might feel like, oh man, if I talk about this stuff, people might look at me some type of way. But I have been talking about this same thing here for a while because I have dealt with people directly. So I had to break people out of the habit because a lot of people that are in these relationships, meaning when they come from Africa, your only relationship, for most people, the only relationship you have with the people back there is all transactional. It's about money. If you don't send money to those people, they will not talk to you. And they make it very obvious. So now a lot of people are coming out, especially the women. They've been making TikTok videos. I mean, like back to back, this has been years. And the women, African women especially, they are the perpetrators of this. They create the slave, they push the slavery. But now a lot more of them are traveling solo because they've been hyped up to believe that whatever a man can do, they can also do. Or they have in Nigeria what they call the jackpot. So you would see people who are already established, like in various African countries, but mostly Nigeria. Like they have homes, they have good job, right? But they would underestimate all of that, and like they would sell it. Entire families, they would move to a completely different land. And like let's be honest, most Africans, even here in the West, not, coming from Africa especially, they do not believe in budgeting to pay for hotels. They don't believe in this. They would rather just manipulate you into the feelings of, oh, we cool, we family, but while they're using you, right? But the people in the West too, most of them are perpetrating a fraud because you want to continue the delusion for these people, for them to believe that you are something that you are not. So now a lot of people, they are beginning to make videos. They are like, they are not happy here. And I'm not surprised. I am not surprised to see this. A lot of Africans, I've seen them with my own eyes. They're not experiencing the American dream. There is no way. Look, most people, they're not gonna like this. There's no way you can fully experience the American dream if you for some time don't cut off the people in Africa 100%. There was a time in my life, the people back there, they thought I was dead. They knew nothing about me for many years. That was my blessing. I remember I used to work with this guy. He was from Gambia. And and the guy, he didn't even have a proper vehicle. Like he can barely afford food. But that guy had two jobs. Every month, mind you, every month this guy had to send $600 to his father in the Gambia. And on top of that, he had other brothers, mind you, in the UK or elsewhere. They also, every one of them have to send, I think, $600. So I think it was four of them. So they were paying their dad salary just for being their father. And on top of the 600, they were building him a compound, full compound, nice building. And then guess what the dad did? He went and married a new wife with all that. So one day he tried to ask me for gas money, to borrow gas money. I was like, I was like, man, what's up with your money? He's like, I'm sending it to my dad. I was like, man, look, you you got your priorities messed up. He's like, oh, you don't send money to the people there. I was like, hell no. Look, here's how I got out of all that BS. Man, I was young. Like back then, they didn't have cell phone or WhatsApp. You gotta buy like a phone card. And it's like I didn't, like I tried to call people. I had like a phone book, right? So you buy a card and then you call the people. Sometimes you can even call them from the phone book on the street, whatever. So it's like I'm a student, like pretty young. Like I was hanging out at the mall, like if I'm not in school. So now you talking to some adults, they're telling you about money, talking about you gotta send them money to buy rice, like, and I'm like, man, you don't even understand. Like this card that I'm using, like somebody hooked me up. I didn't even buy this. Okay. But eventually, yes, I got in the cycle where you keep sending people money and then it hit you. You're like, man, what the hell? Why am I giving money to people and then hiding from the bill collectors? So I totally understand why so many people are upset. And I'm glad it's the women, because the women now, like I said, they come in on their own. A lot of them, they come with their husbands and then they drink the Western Kool-Aid, and they divorce their husbands. A lot of divorce amongst the Africans now, right? So I started thinking. I remember I was always preaching this message, and a lot of people, they will get so uncomfortable. And one time I remember I said to my friend, I said, think about this. I said, these people, these people that are asking you and I for money, I said, these are adults. So I said, mind you, these people have been on this planet like 50 something years before we got here. So whatever they didn't figure out, and they didn't train you and I how to figure that out. And now we're learning to figure that out, but they want you to help them to figure out what they couldn't figure out their whole life. I'm like, hey, I hate to say it, but I'm the future. They are the past. They are a lost cause. Many Africans cannot do this because Africans, unfortunately, many, if you listen to Africans talk, they are into ancestral worship. Many are brainwashed. They use the word blessings, but you don't see that blessing. What is the blessing? Most Africans came from poverty, poor. Your grandfather is poor. Your great grandfather is poor. I mean, some people are going to be like, not me, not all. Of course, I know, but majority. Your great grandfather is poor, your grandfather, your father, and now you. So somebody got to break that curse. Because you see, the belief system, the culture, there is one bit of that culture that people don't want to talk about. You see someone who says they have no skills. They don't even care about the future of their children. These children are used as the insurance. You would see a guy who say, oh, he can't afford, this guy can't afford food, but they have tons of kids, two wives, they have bunch of kids. None of these kids are being taught, you know, how to operate in this world, how to have skills. What would they say? God will provide. But now, when the time comes to feed these kids, they call you. And what do? They use a trick. They would trick you. If they think you got money, they would, take, like if they have a child, maybe their 10th child, they would say, you are the godfather, or it's your namesake. Never let them do that. Somebody called me years ago. This is gonna blow you guys' mind. You guys are gonna be like, man, Afridamus, you are crazy. I knew the guy. he was like, oh, he's like, oh man, I got a child. I want to name the child after you. I was like, yo, bro. I was like, man, look, my name is, like it's trademark. I don't, you can't just, you know, mimic it and give it to other people. I was like, like, I mean, I'll talk to my lawyer, but I mean, for now, you can't really, you know, give your child my name, you know. I said, yeah, you can give similar name, but I will not acknowledge the name. You see, I will not acknowledge the name because they are trying to trick you, you know. So early on, I learned pretty quick. I was like, first of all, one thing I have learned is never start something you can't finish. If you give them money one time, guess what? Now you are on the hook. You're on the hook for life. So the first thing I observed when I came to America, I looked at people, Africans that's been here for a while, and I studied them. They said, study people and look at them. Tell, like, do you want to end up like these people? And it's not disrespect if you, like, if somebody's out of shape, like you wanna be in shape, right? You not wanting to look like them is not a diss to those people. That's what this world is all about. So I figured, okay, I noticed a lot of Africans just hang out with Africans. Some they just go to work and then home, and then they hang out with other Africans. They're on the phone. They don't really socialize like that. So they're not really in the American society. They open themselves up to the people back there calling them. And those people, they don't even respect you. Seriously. They don't even respect you. It's like, I mean, like you give them money, it's like they don't even pick up the phone and call you. They use emotional manipulation to beat you down. So, to me, the way I look at that, maybe most Africans that come to the West don't understand that, like maybe, just maybe, I know people are not going to like this, but have you ever asked yourself why the transatlantic slave trade happened? Have you ever asked yourself this? I know people have done mental gymnastics talking about, oh, they came, they kidnapped people. I don't believe that's what happened. I do not believe that. I look, I know some of you are not going to like me for saying this, but I'm not a dumb person. I study things. I study how humans roll. Do you guys know there are a ton of Africans that die in the Mediterranean Sea, in the desert? They, you know why they die? These people are trying to get to Europe, to the white man's land. The same white man that Africans like to say is racist, to go work there. Most of these people, they would go to Italy, Spain. They are working in farms because you see, in a lot of these countries, they have the Islamic belief system. And for example, let's say Senegal and Gambia, what type of Islam do they practice? Some people go to formal school. Some people are from the villages. They go to the night education where they set up the fire and they surround it. And they spend all day, they work them like slaves. People bring their children. So it's basically, setting up someone for slave. Go read, like I've read the books. I've read a lot of the slaves, even back in those days. They came from, those type of situations where people send their children to those things. So now, in this day and age, in the 21st century, we have the internet. We see videos, right? People in Africa see videos. They make the videos. So people are very much aware of the dangers of trying to go through the back way. And some even come all the way from Africa through Nicaragua, Mexico to come to the US through the back way. So the Atlantic slave trade, they would say it's a forced slavery, but now Africans are transporting themselves into slavery. So I decided, I was like, you know what? I need to dig into this deeper. And I followed it, and took me all the way to my own native country, Gambia. So I know the language, and some of the mothers they interviewed, and what I've heard convinced me 100% that Africans were selling their own children into slavery. Like the rationality that was given, like confirmed to me, like a lot of the things I read. I know people are not gonna like this. Like imagine, like your kid might die, but you're saying, like some of them they use the Islamic word. They say it's jihad because there's nothing more cowardly. I know people are not gonna like this. More cowardly than you bringing children into this world. You didn't set up anything for them and make them your insurance plan and send them into harm's way. You know they might die, but you brainwash them into believing that it's their job to save you. Isn't that the relationship between a slave and a slave master? So, this is what many have been complaining. Men can handle it, but the women, even though they're the biggest perpetrator of this, because you guys know African women with money, but now that you know, they gotta hustle for their own money, they see the truth and they are not quiet. They see the ruthlessness of that culture. And how long is this gonna go on? Let's just be honest. Like, I have given it. If let's say somebody, your great grandfather was in poverty, your grandfather was in poverty, your father was in poverty, and your father brought you in poverty, and now you have the opportunity to break that curse, what are you going to do? So I think that's what these people are saying, but they just cannot find the right words to put it together. So I have several videos here, and I want you guys to hear from the Africans themselves, what they are, what they are, complaining about. But I think this conversation is healthy, you know, um, because this is you're seeing, I'm laying it out, because Africa itself is not poor, but why are Africans poor everywhere? Because of poor economic strategy. Most Africans are in spiritual slavery. That's right. Look, I'll tell you a story. This story, it broke my heart, but it's a fact. I knew this guy years ago. I knew him. So he used to go fishing because they have these fishing lines. You can go to Alaska, they catch the fish, right? So a lot of, Africans will come from like Mali, Senegal, Gambia, several people, like they would come. So they would go fishing for the season. I mean, I heard, man, this is hard job. I've watched documentaries on this. I mean, this is super hard. Like it's freezing. I knew one guy had frostbite over there. He lost two of his fingers. African guy. And they guess how much they paid him? $10,000 for two fingers. Imagine that. But this other guy too, that's the job he did because he didn't speak English well. So all he can do is that job. But every any money he makes, he had to send it back. So I was like, man, that's weird. Like it's almost like someone had a gun to his head, even though they are not in the same environment. But it's like the guy had to send the money. He's never happy. But the craziest thing happened. His mother died in Africa. Man, this is the first time I have seen an African celebrate his mom dying. I could not, at first, I couldn't believe it. So because I'm a curious person, I asked him straight. Other people, because Africans would do this, instead of asking people for their reason, they would just go and gossip behind the person. But I asked him, I said, man, I said, this is strange. I have never seen this. I said, you just told me your mother died, but you are excited. You are happy. Why are you happy? He said, because I am free. I said, what do you mean? You haven't been free? He said, I felt like I was a slave. He said, now every amount of money I make from now on, I get to keep it for myself. He said, at first I felt like a slave master, like a slave. And everything I earn, I have to send it. I said, but why do you do it? He said he was afraid if he didn't do it, his mother would put a curse on him. And there are many that believe in that. And I was like, wow, fascinating. So let me show you some of it here. Because they're saying, oh, people are not happy in the US, but they're not gonna go back. Let me do my disclaimer and we can share the videos. Fair use, fair use.
Today's message goes to all Africans who live in America. If you're not an African, please scroll. This information will not make sense to you. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of videos circulating on platforms like, TikTok about how they're not happy here, how this place has deprived them their happiness. Their life is all about work, going home to sleep. Work, going home to sleep. And most of the money they make, they have to send it back home to take care of their people. Well, I have a different view about my stay here. I've not been here so long, but I've been here enough to speak on this issue. I'm fortunate and blessed that I came here and I went to school and earned my degree. When I graduated, I'm also lucky enough that I had people in my life, my mentors, who connected me to the professional job that I'm at right now. And it's the same story like any other African. When we come out here because we want to make our life better. We want to make the people the people we left behind, give them help, give a hand where necessary. Because the truth be told, most of us, I'm not saying all of us, but most of us come from like underprivileged communities. So when you make it out here, most of the people you left behind look at you as a source of help. Now, you have to be careful and not outwork yourself and just help whenever you can. Not just because you're here, you need to sacrifice everything and send it back home.
Yes, he's 100% correct. There's people that do that, they outwork themselves, but they never ever take into consideration like they are working themselves into the poorhouse. Because everything you're working for that you are sending, guess what? Is being consumed. So, like, what are you working for? Like, you'll be struggling, like, basically your life will never change. So you are basically giving in into the desire of people who already chose to be poor. And I know many feel the guilt saying, oh yeah, I came from there, like I'm responsible for those people. No, you're not. No, you're not. It's like, get yourself situated, then you can help them. But if you're crawling, they're crawling. I mean, somebody got to get up and walk. So it's best it be you. I mean, let them figure it out. You would figure it out once things are good. You come help them out. But many are, feel so guilty that they walk themselves to death. They wouldn't see the fruits of their labor. From it's like they would never see it.
Well, this country, America, has given me the platform to be able to take care of my people, to be able to be in position where my people are not lacking, because I know God put me in this position to be able to provide, to be able to lead, to be able to take care of my responsibilities. And I don't look at it like I don't have a life. And to be honest, you choose how to live. Don't let your bills stress you. As long as you can make enough to take care of you here and a little bit of surplus to give your family back home, you should not overstrain yourself where you're working 24/7, where you're working 6 days a week, 15 hours shifts. Because at the end of the day, you're the engine. When you crash, 10 more people are crashing. So when you change your mentality and appreciate the responsibility God has given you, you're going to change your mindset about how you feel when you're living here in America. And stop thinking about here as a depressive place, as a place where it's all about bills. That's how you will feel, because most of the times how you think is how you're going to feel.
Exactly. He is 100% correct. How can you come to the, you know, greatest country on this side of heaven and keep complaining? Like, why are you here? You see? And lately I've been seeing a lot of videos where, these people, they complain. It's like, are you in bondage? So this is why I tied it to slavery. Because, the slaves that came through the Atlantic slave trade, some of those people were sold by their own family members. Let's just be honest. I know people don't want to admit this. Imagine now people are sending their children into the sea. They know they could die. They would literally sell their lands, cows. Like, I'm talking about intentionally doing it. So do you think Africans believing in giving their children to white people for the cost of job, this is just a new thing? I mean, think about it. Those parents, they know nothing about this environment. So 500 years ago, the same thing. They know nothing about where their people are going to. They themselves wouldn't do it. In fact, I remember this still stuck in my head as a kid. I heard this one adult was giving their reason why they don't want to come to America. They said because America is the devil's playground. And the other adult asked them, but would you send your kids there? It's like, yeah, it's okay if they go there, benefit me. The blessings from me will save them from hell. So you believe a place is hell. You will not go there, but you're willing to send your child there. So just like today, people know going through that desert, you go through that Sahara or the Agadez desert, there is many, many, many corpses in that desert. And then they make it to the Mediterranean Sea. Many boats capsize. So no one can pretend and be like, oh, this is like 500 years ago. We don't know what happened to our child. I mean, I can understand. It's one thing if you even trained your child, give them a chance, give them the knowledge and education on what they are about to do. But if they don't have that knowledge, you failed those children. And now you're sending them into slavery. So this is why sometimes is we can, like, people shouldn't be passing judgment, because what makes you think that, like, what's making you so comfortable saying people back then they didn't sell their people when we're seeing it today? The relationship between most Africans and their people back there is transactional. It's about money. It's a fact. But this guy, he reenacts the sentiment of some of the people. Let's see him play it out. Here we go.
Was quarter of my life, but I'm not happy here. I'm not. Since I came to America, my life has been work, sleep, from Monday to Monday, same routine every day. I've literally done everything the system asked me to do to be successful, but nothing changed. Nothing really changed. And before you guys ask me why can't I go home, I can't go home because of so many people depending on me. Going home is like taking food away from, people's mouths. So going home is not an option because they will be bitter and they will hate me for life. The honest truth is that I was mentally and emotionally richer when I was in Africa. But here in America, I'm only richer in the eyes of people depending on me. But within me, I know my life is not together. It's tough. It's really tough, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful because with my struggle, I've been able to help life, support people's dream, and yeah, I'm grateful. I'm really, really grateful. Just that I don't have life here. I don't know how long this will continue, and I thought it's something that would just happen in few time, but it seems this is my reality.
Look, he's reenacting it. This is how so many people, the Africans, they feel. They feel like there's so much pressure. But I mean, he reenacted it well. Let's hear he gives good advice to African people. It's just common sense. No one is saying you can't help people, but you don't need to kill yourself doing it. And you should set the boundaries. It doesn't matter who it is.
These guys are not struggling. They just need extra cash. You are the one making your life a living hell in America. You are the one making your life stress-free in America. You are the one making your life depressive because you are here worrying about an adult that is not physically challenged. You are worrying, killing yourself how to pay their house rent. Why will you be giving an adult money? Somebody who is not physically challenged, you are working to pay their bills. Why would you be paying somebody's house rent in Africa and you are squatting in America? Like placing an adult on salary while you are struggling here with your 2 jobs. You are the one making your life a living hell. Stop it. You get the point. Listen, a struggling person don't lead an upright person. If you do, they will push you aside and move on. These guys will still be the one that will mock you tomorrow if you fail. Yeah, look at him. He spent all his life in America and he didn't achieve anything.
100% correct. Yeah, those same people, I've seen videos upon videos where people they're like, yeah, the same people they sponsored, sent to colleges, and now, they went back home there, and those people telling them, oh, you've been in America all this while. What have you done? It's like, I paid for your tuition, I hooked you up, I built a house for you people. But this is why you got to take care of you first. Okay?
But forgetting that they are the reason why you did not achieve anything in America. You understand? Put yourself first. If you succeed, you can help people. But while you are struggling, stop making your life a living hell. Stop trying to be a good person. You understand? People in this life don't have memory. They quickly forget. The only time they will remember you is that time they are getting something from you. Hence that thing cease, bro, they've forgotten you. You understand? And they will come back and mock you tomorrow. You wasted all your life in America and you didn't achieve anything. Wake up now. Anything that is not related to children or maybe sickness, that sickness, you still need to verify it before you give out your money. You need to go and see the kind of life these guys are living. See, the only person you are owing is your parents. You don't owe no adults any penny, any cent. You are not making them good. You're actually destroying the society. You are destroying them. Because for you to make money, you have to give service. Money is not free. Money doesn't fall from heaven. And somebody who you are giving so much money will not have the time.
He's 100% correct. You know, another thing you see, it's not only the people, you can't only blame the people that are back home. You have people in America, the West, because for whatever reason, like you over here, you working, like you're not getting your money for free. Why are you encouraging another adult to receive money from you for free? Like even the good books say if you don't work, you don't eat. Okay? So it's like these people, they emotionally blackmail so many people. Some of you, I think, you know, it's like, oh, you are still thinking about how things used to be, but it's not that way anymore. Because now you are being looked at as a walking ATM. And deep down, you feel it. You know it's a fact. So it's like, I mean, like, do you want to pay people just to associate with them? Like, what are you getting back in return? Absolutely nothing. So here we go.
Time to go and give service to the society because he or she feels that I have somebody who pays my bill in America. I know you love them and you want to see them succeed in life, but that is not the way forward. The only way to assist somebody is to call the person, what do you want to do with your life? You understand? Settle the person and let the person know, never in your life bother me again. Stop killing yourself, you understand, and start living. If you are not living, you cannot help a living person, because I know most of you are not living. You are just here killing yourself just to pay people's bill in Africa. Stop it. You understand?
Exactly. You guys hear that? I mean, so the guys, they gave the advice, you know, but let's hear from the ladies. It's a majority of them making the videos because, you know, women, you know, they go raw and hard, you know, when they see like you know, what was painted as reality and it's not reality. Let's hear from this woman here.
I said I'm never sending money to Africa again. You guys had a lot of questions. In the video, I mentioned that when I got there, after like 20 years, I got there. I had to put gas in the car every single time I wanted to go somewhere. I had to give like $500 for me and my kids to eat because they asked me to contribute to that. If I wanted water, we had to pay for our own water. If they did something for us, we had to pay for it. Despite us like sending money over the years and helping and medical bills and so many things, people had questions. They were like, what the heck? I'm gonna answer something. So one of the questions was, how do they respond when you say you're not sending money or when you stop sending money? The same thing, like you a dunka, they meaning you're a cursed child. You're not gonna get no blessing. Nothing good is ever gonna come to your life.
So you see that? That's what I was saying. Some of you might have thought I was making that up. Yeah. So imagine they say it's a blessing, but are you the only one that wants blessing? What they don't want no blessing? It makes no sense. So let's hear. So think about it. You know, it's like she's been sending money there, hooking them up, and then after 20 years, you would think she shows up, they're gonna, you know, like at least she don't have to buy gas, anything. They should welcome her nice. Yeah, if she wants that welcome, guess what? She gotta pay for it. So she was better off going to the hotel, you know, because then she would just have to pay for herself and her child. But imagine you've been sending them money, you come back again, you gotta give them money. So that's what she's talking about.
Like you're mean, you're selfish, watch, you're gonna you're gonna fail, like misery is gonna come to you. Same stuff, which is normal. I mean, listen, that's normal. That makes me laugh. That's actually whatever. Someone else asked, maybe they really couldn't afford, to feed you guys or whatever. Maybe that's why. No, I don't want to get too personal, but no, they can afford it because I know for sure they make $3,000 a month in that house, for sure, 100%.
So think about it. If they make 3,000 and they don't have to pay no bills, so they have this idea in Africa, like you would meet people, even if they are working, they have nice house. If they've never been to to the Western world, even though they are doing good, but in Africa, they've been many, not all, but many, they've been programmed to believe that the Africans should be the ones receiving help, even though like they're working, making money, but because you came from America, they still want to take your money. So if I don't know what country it is, but any of those, if they make 3,000 and they don't have to pay no rent, that's a lot of money for them. So you want do you see how unbalanced the relationship is? Very, very unbalanced.
The fact living beyond your means because you have family in Europe and America and France and whatever, that's why you have to live a particular lifestyle. But otherwise, yes, they easily make $3,000 a month. They can afford to host us for 3 weeks without us having to give a dime. And the audacity was that when I was leaving, right, they were like, oh, you're not gonna like leave us anything, you're not gonna give us anything, like the day I was leaving with my suitcase and everything. And look, I have all this money, right? I put my money in my bag and I said, I'm taking it to the US. All this. These are $20 bills. I have all this money that I could have easily, like, if this thing would have never happened, I probably would have given it away to different people. Probably give everybody $100 a piece. But because
So you see, like, so she's been in the US 20 years plus. So she's learned, like, because at some point it's like people just feeling like they can just beat you down. And she just saw how cold they are. Like, she's like, I can't even believe this, you know? And many people are beginning to wake up like that. Like, wow. So she's like, hey, I'm just gonna take the money with me. I'm not gonna give it to them.
of that, I was like, no. The audacity to ask after all this, after if you buy me water, I have to give your money back. If you buy my kids popsicle, I have to give your money back. And then when I'm leaving, you want to ask me, oh, you're not gonna give us anything? You're not gonna leave us anything? I took my thing. I still have it. I even forgot that I had it. I brought my money back with me. Hell no. And lastly, you know what? I really don't like to talk about stuff like this, right? Because I have 6 siblings, and I also feel like as much as I like to talk about things, I have to respect their privacy. But what triggered me was when I watched a young lady video of her saying she's not sending money back home, and people were coming at her, and it just triggered me. That's one. Number two, you guys know I'm heavy on the Afghan, what's going on, like the soccer. And I wanted to go to Afghan. I only work 4 days a month here. I work PRN. And I already work my hours. So I have time off. I wanted to go to Afghan. I told these people that I was coming, right? I wanted to watch the Afghan. I'm coming, right? And they're like, why would you come? Why? You can't just send us that money instead of wasting it to come watch the Afghan. And some people,
You see, she's right. So that's another thing too. There is no way, so constantly associating with these people fully, you can enjoy yourself. They would try to make you feel guilty for spending your own money on yourself. So here she is. She was giving them money all out of love, family. But when it came for her to even use her money for herself, they're calling it a waste. So it's like, these people, many, they are so, they lack self-awareness. They don't even understand, like, what they are saying to you is, look, we don't care about you. Like, even though it's your money, you worked for it, we want you to give it to us. We deserve it more than you. And that's a form of abuse. If you give into that, not only with Africans, if you give into somebody like that, that's bullying. I mean, imagine, like, let's say, even if you live in the States, like you're in a relationship with somebody and you're talking like this, it's abuse. So,
People might be like, yeah, just, girl, I work. If I want to go watch the Afghan and make me happy, I should be able to do that. But it's like, why are you coming to watch the Afghan if you could just send us this money? I was like, because I want to watch the Afghan. That didn't work, right? And then it became, okay, well, if you come, we're not going to be able to pick you up from the airport because the car is broken. Unless you send us $1,000. Unless you send us $1,000 to fix the car so we could pick you up at the airport, we won't be able to pick you up. Yeah.
so yeah. I mean, like, yeah, some of these people, they get cold-blooded to you like that. This is her family. She's not telling you about strangers. Her family. Yeah. Yeah, they literally, she's telling you. They told her. At first, they were like, oh, instead of you going to the Afghan, why don't you send us, that money? They try to make her feel bad. And then that didn't work. They were like, oh, you gotta send us $1,000. I bet you with the 500 more on that thousand, she can probably get her a car over there. Yeah, they are. This is literally, they are cold. They are as cold as ice.
The audacity. And like, and somebody else was like, well, why don't you have a conversation with them? Let me tell you something. In an African household, you don't talk back. You could be 50. You don't talk back. If you talk back or you defend yourself, it's basically like you're insulting them. It's basically like you basically beat them up at this point. So like defending yourself is not even worth
Yeah, that's the emotional blackmail.
it because it's gonna become a fight. It's gonna become like more problematic. So you just take it and just smile. I mean, that's just the way it is. So unfortunately, it's no like sitting down, talking about it, talking back. It's not even worth it. It's not even gonna click in. So with that being said, I'm really not gonna answer anything because I'm gonna be like a faucet spilling tea, and I'm gonna have to start walking around with bodyguards, which is not necessary. So it baffles me. It baffles me just as much as it baffles you guys to know that legit, like. And the weird thing is, like, I have Nigerian friends and Ghanaian friends who was like, when I was telling them this, they was like, yo, I be going home. I go back home with nothing in my pocket. I literally just come home and it's my family house. Like, I don't pay for food, nothing. Like, wow.
Yeah. So some people have it good like that, but the majority, this is what it is. Let's hear from another lady. Let her give us. This is I think East Africa. This is all around Africa. All around Africa.
Thousands of money back home for a house to be built only to come back to no house or somebody else's house. African math is sending money back home when you're asked of it only to be called a witch anyway, and when you stop sending money back home.
She's funny. She's like, hey, she's explaining African math. She's like, hey, they ask you to send money to build a house or whatever. So she's like, hey, whether you send it or not, they're going to call you a witch anyway. So I'm guessing they call the ladies witch. I'm not surprised. I mean, they are vicious like that. Not all, but most.
Home, you're called a witch anyway again. Thank you. African math is having your grandparents ask you for money, knowing very well they have children twice or even thrice your age who's been working for like 2 decades and earn an income. But you're the one they asking for money, not, okay. African math is mother-in-laws treating their daughter-in-laws badly, but expecting their daughters to be treated well in somebody else's home. African math is expecting your wife to only visit your side of the family, so the man's side of the family, and not visit her side of the family. Yet you have daughters and you expect that when they grow up and get married, they should visit you, but you don't even allow your wife to visit her side of the family. That much. African math is when you're poor, you cannot speak up at the family functions. You're not a key decision maker. You're not a stakeholder. You shut up. You sit down. You shut up. I can't with it. African math is the less you say, the better your life will be. African.
Yeah, she's 100% correct about all this. Like, if you want to be in the good grace of many of them, especially, I'm guessing, especially for the women, that they would tell you to shut up if you want to find peace. But maybe a grown man like me, they wouldn't try that on me. But with women, this is how it goes. And even the men, if you allow yourself to be treated like that, sure, they'll do it. But with the women, I think they go for that first. I mean, if you stand up for yourself, then you have insulted them.
Math is taking 90 business days to process and share good news to other people. African girl math is announcing your pregnancy when the child is 48 months. Kenyan math is traveling back home to Kenya as a dark-skinned woman and only getting good treatment because they can tell you live abroad, you have an abroad passport, and you have a foreign accent.
You guys hear this? So these women are speaking about the reality, and I'm sure most of you have seen this. Let me play the last video and I'll open up the line so you guys can call in and give your 2 cents. This guy, I think it's about Ghana. He's going to explain Ghana. And this reflects pretty much West Africa and most of the other countries. Here we go.
They asking Poppy for money to the point that she's old and grown enough, then still they beg them for money.
Everyone in the family, as long as you have a job, they expect you to share that money accordingly. And that is just something I will not be participating in. I already knew I would never participate in this. Like, how do you come and tell me, oh, my kids are starving? Yeah, they're starving because you're fucking lazy. Get off your ass, get a job, and feed your kids.
Your auntie sell in land, give you, make you go abroad. Your auntie get pickings for here, but sell the land, give him pickings, make them go. You be the one who you be abusiani that so then send carry give you. Don't you think say when you get there and you are remitting them some of the money that you go?
Let me translate. He's speaking pidgin. He said you have your auntie in Nigeria there. So your auntie sold her land and sent you to America. You see, that's another thing. If the Africans, when they, not all, but like say relatives, if they do something for you, know that it's investment. It's like investing in a slave. If they say they're paying for you, some will do it just because. But when you make it, you gotta send money back to them. And in that case, I guess it's fair. Like someone like that, they invested in you. That's it. Especially if you were reliant on them. Sure. Oh, Zongo said that's Ghana. Oh, okay. I guess it's Ghanaian.
You say you go get like you go trickle down to their
you go get. But I think
what be the issue?
Get something for them to do. I can't be sending you money every month. You don't work for me.
Okay.
I'll get you something in Ghana to do. If you want it, I'll come to you. Do you want a business or what do you want to do? Then I set it up for you. Then you depend on that to feed you.
That is.
But for me to be sending you money every month, and see,
don't make it look like helping a family member who is in need. Now with the social media talking about what if the people
guys, the link is in the chat. Hit the link, join the conversation. Yeah, the guy's right. Because there are people who probably have lived in America, Europe, other places for probably 40 years. They've been doing this same thing, sending people money every month, and it never stops. It never stops. And like if you go back there, because I've seen videos where people are like, oh my God, we've been, we thought we were sponsoring these people, but they go there. Those people have like farms, they have rental properties. And this whole time you've just been working, sending people money, and you have nothing to show for. In the meantime, the people you sending money to have set up businesses, and you think they're gonna look out for you? Hell no, man. A lot of these Africans are experts in, just creating some sort of conflict between you and them to make, to gaslight you, to make it seem like you are the problem, so that you guys won't talk again. Yeah, they are pros at this, guys. The link is in the chat. Feel free to hit it.
That you are calling lazy and things. It's not even. It's not like they are lazy. It's like they don't even have some of the jobs to do. You know what is happening here?
But begging
People
somebody
try.
for 20 years there. Now every time they give you.
Listen.
Surely I can, I don't know, apart from maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like the guy with the beard. Come on, man. Like he's like, oh, they don't have anything to do. So the guy is saying, yeah, I mean, bro, like I get it. Like I can help you for a little bit, but for 20 years, I mean, come on. I know you down on your luck, but 20 years? I mean, come on. Like if you can figure it out by then, I'm sorry. Like, I mean, at that point, man, I mean, you're just gonna be charged to the game, whatever that is. It's like I'm moving on.
The person be your mother,
Yeah.
who is old and cannot work. A youth, helping a youth for 10 years, then the person is lazy.
Exactly. That's right. Guys, you see it. What do you guys think? I mean, so this particular type of practice, practice is keeping Africans poor. I mean, the people that practice this. A&E said the Afrodamus keep in mind this extortion by the Africans is what Black Americans expect from Black immigrants. When you work with them, they literally do the exact same thing. Oh, trying to get the money. Nah, that's not gonna work. Like when you do the work, like sure, like no one is saying you can't help people, but imagine, I mean, like you gotta give money to somebody every month for 20 years. I mean, think about that. Like this person is not your mother. It's not like this is a young person. They're like, oh, like you gotta send them money. Like you pay their rent. You gotta work and pay for your own rent or mortgage, whatever. So it's like you gotta do this. So basically, you're sending the wrong message. And I understand why so many people, when they send money and say, oh, build, like build a structure for me. Because so many people, they trust the people that they are related to. But that's the terrible idea, because they are looking at it like, hey, like if I just used up his money, what's gonna happen? Nothing. We'll just like talk about it like family. Like one time I did a show over here. This lady, I mean, she's Nigerian. She lives out here in the States. She's been working for 40 years. So during this time, like the entire time she was planning on like building her retirement home in Nigeria. So she was sending money. And she even, partly she took loans to send over there to build. So her brother was supposed to be in charge. I did the video over here. When that woman got back there, so this whole time her brother was sending her fake pictures saying, oh, that's your house. the whole time it was a lie. When the woman got there, oh my God, it was just an empty shell of a building. I mean, like they barely touched it. Like this woman, she fell on the ground, she collapsed, she started crying. Like, so think about her situation. She took loans. So so now she's gonna go work and pay for those loans, right? And she didn't even have the house. Another story that I saw, this one was in Kenya. And this guy, he was here in the state. He was sending money to his mother and brother for them to build a home for him. So they was sending him videos of this nice place, saying that's his home. This is the mistake that most people do. See, when I wanted my lands, I waited. I went there myself. I went there myself to see it physically. I did the negotiation, all the paperwork myself. So when it comes to building, I go there, build, then come back. Because if you put, people in charge 9 out of 10 times, it's not gonna go the way you want it to go. You will be disappointed. So this guy, like they told him this is his house. So he decided to do like a surprise visit to Kenya. So he wanted to go to the house. They just keep throwing him off. You know what his mom and brother did to that guy? They set him up. They set him up. They hired hitmen to take him out. Can you imagine? In fact, I'm gonna find that video and bring it. So his mom and brother, they tried to set him up to have him deleted. Luckily, he escaped it. He escaped it. And that guy, he said he will never ever have anything to do with those people. Yes, Annie, hit the link. Hit the link. Come join the conversation here. I want to hear your perspective on um, what you've heard. So yeah, I mean, like stuff like that happens to people, and 9 out of 10 times the people are usually they are naive, and the thing about it is like you've got people right now living here. They're making videos. They're saying they don't like it here. It's not about America. They are not truly getting the American experience because you live over here, but your mind is all in Africa. You have not fully integrated your mind over here. So it will be hard for you to cope and to integrate. It's going to be hard. And on top of that, you will be opening yourself up to this type of emotional blackmail. So hopefully that doesn't happen to you guys. Guys, I'm about to end the show here. Um, See that nobody hit the link, but I'm gonna end the show and set up for the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and feel free to leave your comments and let me know what you think. And hey, oh, look at it. Somebody jumped in real quick. Enjoyed it. And Juju Shaman. Oh, that's you. And Zongo. Oh, you guys waited till I was like, I'm about to run. Okay, we'll have the conversation. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys think this type of cultural practice is keeping Africans poor? Because think about it, somebody has to break the cycle, right?
100%. 100%. I know my mother gives, but she only gives to her family. She has always given. And she's basically she proudly refers to herself, as the most beautiful girl in the village, and she has brought so much wealth and stability to her village. And something she told me, she said, it's just me. Like she has always taken very, very good care of her village and also took care of us. Like we never went to public school. I have never, it was only private school. And remember, this is a nurse salary. So like, these women work and they work for two households. But what happens is you become very exhausted, very angry, very bitter. And keep in mind, Afrodamus, you're only speaking about the parents. We all know how African people are to their firstborn daughters, especially in the United States. I can't speak.
Can you share?
It's just
I've never been a daughter.
Afrodamus. Well, like there's the good and the bad because the culture itself, African culture, there we do very, very well. The culture does very well under capitalism. So,
but what aspect of it though? Because like if you look at
why
it, people
African people do well under capitalism, why we do well. Well, first, let me give you some data. 40%. So, sub-Saharan Africa, the immigrants, just the immigrants, graduate college at 40%, while the United States is about 30%. And that's just sub-Saharan Africa. That doesn't speak about the children.
Yeah, but that doesn't guarantee success.
Well, it doesn't guarantee success.
There are plenty of like people with college degrees, but
it definitely gives a leg up because we do have the skills. The reason why there's suffering or turmoil is the subject of your show. Because you can't imagine you're so skilled, you work so hard, you pay for school. Remember, we're paying out of pocket. So you're working and going to school. And most African people, Afrodamus, everyone since the 90s, Africa basically planned what's happened the past 20 years since like 04, 05. It's been planned how everyone is in like science, if you kind of notice that.
Yeah, but what do you think about? Because like this like on TikTok especially, you've seen the videos, especially the newer immigrants. They are saying they are not happy, too much pressure, they are paying bills. And like
it's more expensive now, Afrodamus. It is.
It's what?
Are you speaking in terms of like when it comes to like the college success? Are you speaking in terms of like the ones who were born in America, or
no? The 40% are the immigrants.
I mean, like the one who migrated to
exactly. Yes. So those.
But a lot of them do have a lot. Like they do experience a lot of like roadblocks compared to like the one over here.
Yeah, okay, but that's okay. But that's my point. Even with these roadblocks, we still go at 40%, which is actually one of the highest amongst all immigrants across the board. I can put the link in the chat. So
no, but I get that. But what I'm saying is, right? For example, a lot of like the videos I've shown, the pressure that many are feeling. It's like a slave and a slave master relationship. Because like when you read Frederick Douglass's book, Up from Slavery, right? Coming up from slavery. Like Frederick Douglass was not a slave that was put like in a plantation. He would go around with his master. He had a job. Some slaves had different jobs. Like some were carpenters. He was a cork maker, like wine cork maker. So he had a job. He would work, but when he gets paid,
it goes to the slave master. He doesn't own his labor.
Yeah. So these Africans, a lot of people you see, like these videos that people are talking about, there are people back there that you feel like they own you. When they say you don't send that money, they will say, we will put a curse on you. There's so many who go through that trauma.
Yeah, they'll do that.
Yeah, a lot of the
They'll place
so basically, are they slaves?
and well, mentally, yes. Mentally, yes. But unlike before, like with the first group of people who left, like Chantel and that Liza Nicole Jackson, when their ancestors first left, there was no communication and connection. Now there is. And now we do own our labor. So it is 100% mental. And they're going
Yeah,
to,
you own it, but there are some who literally they are sending majority of their money.
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
decades. For
Because
decades.
think about it this way, once you start working, you gotta pay for your accommodation, bills, everything, and then like the remaining amount that you have for probably for savings and investment, you will have to send everything back home. So the idea of also creating the generational wealth, just like most other immigrants in America, is just almost becoming impossible. It's almost like we are not maximizing our potential because uh, you always have to give back home. The family, that's like a symbol that you've succeeded in America, right? Because you have to buy something for the parents, for the siblings, a little bit to the family members, and sometimes the little amount that you provide to them is still not enough, you know and you have to do extra
Bingo.
hours just to maintain kind of lifestyle. But the question that I do have is that I think a lot of the times the migrants that do move from Africa to the Western societies, they tend to have this idea that when they go to the West, that is almost equivalent to economic prosperity,
right.
and then and then when the reality just hitting, it just becomes a whole different different experience for them.
Okay, so Alpha Thomas, if I can ask you and Zongo. So now, like, first we have to also keep in mind that the African immigrant population really is very, very new compared to others.
Hmm.
Because, with the Irish and the Germans, they've been coming to the United States since its inception.
Hmm.
Like the Irish were like the largest immigrant race, I mean immigrant group from like 1790 into like the Italians into like 1890, 1900. So they were coming in they had a while before they were so they could settle in New York and Brooklyn, like we all know. I say all of that because we're just now, like when you think of like African immigrants, it's now year 50. Because I know, like with Godfrey, with my dad, that's early 70s. That's when, they had the 1965, when they had when they were opening up the doors to more non-Western immigrants. That was like 1965. So then you had like Africans coming in like 1970, 71, 72. So we're new. Now, if an African is able to produce a child, a first generation child who is a doctor, who's an engineer, who's a lawyer, that's what Africans do across the diaspora. The islanders and those on the continent produce very, very professional children. How can you turn these skills, these professional skills, into entrepreneurship? So as opposed to just having your daughter, who's a medical doctor, how can you then turn her degree into like her being the face of the brand, of the business? So,
Okay.
so
So
you know
so
what?
like
Okay, I'll go on mute.
wait,
You know.
what were you okay, like
Oh
are
yeah,
you
was
saying
that
that's going to stop them from, sending being pressured into sending their money to the people there and eventually be broke like they want people suffering? Because even
Because
the
we have this
second generation,
mentality
right?
of giving money out.
Yeah,
That's the mentality. We have to keep the money here in the country,
yeah,
either
but
the United States or UK, to actually
here, right?
building, because we don't do entrepreneurship.
yeah,
You see
yeah,
the
exactly.
Chinese and the
But
Indians,
you
they're
have to
always There's stores. We don't do these stores like that. Like if we have like a
Yeah,
just like a African store, it's literally just like a store just so we can like sell codfish. We don't do business like that.
yeah,
We
yeah,
keep it professional. Like we're terminal degrees. We
yeah, yeah.
produce doctors and engineers and attorneys.
Yeah,
We don't
that's
do like
almost
we
like
don't do
providing like employees for the like for the labor
Okay,
market,
okay.
right?
In order to get to
professionals.
that, right? Hold
We're
on,
the black people
hold
six
on, hold
figures,
on. In order to get to that,
not you,
if
Chantel.
somebody comes from Africa, right? Like the guy, the letter he read, if all they're doing is work, paying bill, there are people who do the work, pay bill, send all their money. They could be here 50 years. They won't achieve anything back there. They won't achieve anything here either. So that's what people are talking about. So that person, their life would affect their children as well. Because some of these videos, some of the people, they're second generation, where even their own mothers try to pressure them, even
Yeah,
though they are born here, to be sending money, to be like, oh, your auntie this, or if they used to visit as children, like these people emotionally blackmail them too. So it's not a matter of, if it's about having a degree or not,
I think
but
she was
it's
she was
like it's
coming.
like if you as an individual, a young person, you focus on yourself, you work on your goals, you don't have those attachments, you focus. Oh yeah, you will
Yeah,
definitely pull it off.
I think she was coming from the angle that a lot of the times, like like most of us are professionals across like several industries,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I've
you
seen
don't
that.
see you don't see us like just just transcending beyond that level um, being entrepreneurs of like big larger corporations or owning like
Right.
companies as opposed to like what you generally see when you go to like the various neighborhoods that you tend to see us, right? I think
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
what she was.
if
I
you're gonna
feel like
send all your
we are
money,
ready to elevate with the first
Yeah,
generation who are here, the level of education, now
yeah,
that we've had the background, because it's different just studying, studying
yeah. But I just
industry
wanted to add
in the
that, right?
corporate world. You see, we have a different light because we are very, very active
Yeah.
in corporations.
I wanted to add that like it all like kind of like boils down to like having some sort of understanding about like financial literacy, right? Because
Yeah.
just imagine, because it doesn't really matter like if you are either like skilled or unskilled, if if you're a doctor or like whatever,
Business minded.
and then you make probably more than six figures, and then your expenses is more than your earning, you're still gonna be poor, like you're still not gonna make money, right?
right?
So and then you have additional burden from back home, then the idea of just you having generational wealth, as generally like hear that often on the very social media, it's just almost impossible. We just have to like control the pressure that we do receive from back home. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't provide to your family relatives, but then just tell them like how to give them money to invest in their own business so that they wouldn't be overly like dependent or reliant on you, so that you can probably allocate some of your savings money. If you don't know how to like start your own business, you can probably invest in stocks or bonds, so you probably multiply your wealth. That's
Hold,
the only
hold on,
way, because
hold
especially
on. Miss
uh
Chantel got a question. She said, "Does this stress cause Africans outside of Africa to have mental breakdowns? Do you know?" Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I've seen people who like, I mean, this is totally broken them down. Oh yeah, most definitely.
yeah, yeah,
That's why they're making the video. Like, yeah, mental people, they
and
would
sometimes
have total mental breakdown over
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah. Even sometimes you might have even rifts with your own family members just because they in their head they think, oh, are you probably a doctor or engineer? They expect to be making more money. They're expecting you to be sending them more money, but then what you're sending them is not meeting their expectations. They just get mad at you, and then you might have
But
situation.
it's like that's crazy. Like I remember back in the days, like it was like this. Some of these older people I talked to, like I called them, they want to put all that stuff on me, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, you like what? You didn't pay for my tuition. You've never
Yeah,
contributed to like what the hell, man?
yeah, and a
Like,
lot of people do not really, they don't really understand like your living situation. Like if you went to college, you're probably paying your student debt, taking care of like your living expenses and everything. Nobody really cares. What they really are pretty much concerned is like how much money they're gonna get from you. Like that's what really the mindset of a lot of people back home. Sometimes they don't even ask about your general well-being.
they,
Like
they
how,
don't care. Look, you
how are
saw you
you
saw
like
my
and everything.
videos. I was there back there for months. You
Hmm.
see me like I was just living there like a Western black person,
Hmm.
rented my own places and all. Because like I observe it, right? Most people, what I say is that they are not like emotionally mature. Like you can never go back to where you came from and expect it to be exactly the
The
same.
same,
Because
yeah,
you're gonna find a
yeah,
lot of those people doing the same exact thing. They have not elevated. So
yeah,
if you've done a lot for yourself, you worked on yourself, elevate yourself. If you start talking about your life,
mhm,
like what you're into, it would look like you're bragging
yeah,
because
yeah,
they know nothing about that type of life, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
would look like you are bragging, and their instinct is to try to take you down.
Yeah. They'll try to
That's
find
what it,
some like
yeah.
some things and
So a
trying
lot
to
of
like
people, yeah, you
to
can
drain your
go,
pocket.
you can go and say hi
Yeah,
whatsoever, but I can assure you, you want to stick around, you want to act like it's all fine and dandy like before, it's not
yeah.
gonna work. That's
I
just
used to I
normal with
used to
life.
know I used to know like a friend, like a friend's uncle. I think I remember like when his uncle like traveled to Spain. That was like a long time ago, right? And then after like I mean, a decade later, he came back home. But when he came back home, he never built a house. He was still riding on bicycle. Even the property that he built his like self-contained apartment on was his dad's land that he inherited a portion of it,
Oh,
right?
he was in the States here.
No, no, he was in Spain actually, and a lot of people from his family, from his
Are you
community,
there?
saw him as someone who was unsuccessful.
Right,
Even though when he was at home, he never had a job. But now that he had an opportunity to go to Spain, when he came back, he had no car, but I mean, at least he had a bicycle, right?
right.
And at least he was able to build some sort of a structure on his inheritance that he had. And he was married with kids, and still the community saw him as someone who was not successful. Can you imagine that? Like he wasn't begging for people for money. He wasn't asking for food from anybody. He now
Yeah,
is able to
yeah,
start his
that's what
own
I'm saying.
family and
Because
manage his own things, and still they view him as someone who was not successful.
he made the mistake of going back to where he came from. Like I'm not saying don't go back to the country, but the same neighborhood, all that inheritance stuff, people should not do that.
Oh,
Like
really?
you're setting yourself up for failure. If you out here,
Mhm.
focus on you, get your game up, make your dreams come true. Give your, work to a point, give yourself options where
Yeah.
you can no longer be, sucked into all this.
Yeah, like even me myself, like, I've been wanting to go back to Ghana, but I know, like, man, there's a lot of expectation from Zongo, man. Zongo gotta be ready to go to Ghana. I can't just get up and just go to Ghana.
Don't do it.
Like it's
You
just
gotta
like
be prepared.
what is the word, like the stigma of like uh being successful when you go to the West. it's just something that is embedded in the minds of many Africans back home. There's nothing you can do about it. And then if you go and act and live like an ordinary person, people start speaking bad, like the bad mouth you. They think that you're probably not successful or you did something crazy abroad. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Hold on, Juju. You
You do
said,
come. Mm-hmm.
wait, you said the same extortion Black Americans do to Black immigrants. Can you explain?
Oh, absolutely. In the workplace,
Yeah.
in the workplace, Afrodamus, I have seen this from my very first job, and this continued until I stopped working with majority Black American women. The extortion and the emotional blackmail. So basically, what when I look back and I think about
So the Blacks were getting money from you?
Oh, 100%. They do this at every job, and white women. Well, and they go after white women too. I have so many stories, so many stories. They even did it. I worked for a bank that and I just happened, there were two other West African women who worked there, great women. The Black American women, not only did they start like just interfering, because we were just like nothing, inappropriate, but very cordial. Because Black African women in the workplace really are cordial and stay away from each other. Like nobody wants to cause trouble because we all know how these people, just like in general, seeing two Black people behave may just cause issues. So I've noticed that there is a respectful distance.
Did you like loan somebody money and they
Oh
didn't?
no, they will ask for money. Like, oh, I'll pay you back. I'll pay you back. So they do that, and then of course, it never happens. The emotional blackmail. What, for example, I know, and this happened to a white woman. She kept coming. A white woman, her husband. One of the Black women who worked there at a car dealership kept complaining about problems she was having with her child's father. She didn't have any money for Christmas presents. She didn't have anything. So she just keeps complaining. So they use, oh, let me help. They never ask directly. They just always unload their problems. So then she and her husband, there's a woman at my job, she's having some trouble. Okay, let's help out. So they bought like presents for the children. They didn't give money, but just bought presents for the children. Fast forward about 2 months, they find out that not only was the Black woman, she had an old white boyfriend, like a guy. So she had a boyfriend, and she spent $300 for hair.
Oh, so
One story.
She was being ghetto fabulous.
But you're scamming people, and this is something I've seen many times
at your job.
Oh yeah, that was my first job, first corporate job. Even before that job, I was at the Olive Garden. I was being harassed by an older Black woman, just always begging for money, begging for something, begging, or they'll help you out. And if they help you out, like as a favor, they demand something back, and it's always older women. And this was my first job at 17.
But how is that? I mean, I don't want to digress from the main topic, but
no, it's the same topic because I'm working an entry-level job. This happens a lot with young Black women.
Yeah, if they are all entry-level position, like you guys make the same pay.
No, one moment. I'm not talking about professional women or even mid-career. I'm talking like it's your first or second job, and you're working with women who are much older than you. These women who are much older than you, they 100% take advantage of younger women. And a lot of it is exactly what you're bringing up right now, Afrodamus. Like, I need help, I need this, we're struggling. Like a lot of women who are single mothers, they use the workplace to always complain, emotional blackmail. I saw it through many, many years until I stopped working jobs, which were majority women. Once you enter like more like technology, where it's more majority men, a lot of this begging just disappears. Oh. But when it's with women, it's this type of like the emotional blackmail. They try to replace you with like the missing baby daddy, or like or they haven't worked things out with their family. So
Is it like mostly like in the healthcare, like
no, it's just across any job, like any job where it's like entry level, new level, where you're going to see a lot of like younger women, new career. I'll yield. And the people, yeah, let them say I'm lying, because they do the exact same thing, Afrodamus. You see how when I'm letting things out of the, letting the cat out of the bag. This is how they behave at the workplace. And DEI is coming to an end. And one of the reasons they're able to behave like this, Afrodamus, is because HR is Black women. So they
she's
bring in their friends, and they will continue this behavior until someone gets caught or someone gets fired. But they do this all the time.
Okay. Let's bring in. Thank you. Let's bring in Big Black. Go ahead, Big Black. What do you think about this topic? African. Some of them saying that a lot of they're like, is this a form of slavery where it seems like there's pressure on you? You gotta send this money to these people. I mean, like, you can choose to ignore it, but hey,
I say the thing is, see, it's kind of like, it's something like you kind of brought it on yourself sometimes. Some of you, not all, because some of you get online and say, how it's so easy to make it here, and these American, these African Americans are lazy. It's so
Big Black, Big Black. I see why you came here. You all happy? You're like, yeah, they get in their karma, like.
Yeah, it's like, this is heaven, and they're thinking like, oh, it's so easy, huh? We'll break some of that bread, it should be so easy to get the bread, but on the real, not all of you do that, and I really do agree with you. You don't want to get to the point where you get took advantage of. I say look after mother and father, of course, because they brought you here. You know what I mean, but if you're saying that they're asking for money every week or every 2 weeks, that's pretty much a job, right? So, at some point that's a little too much. So I do agree with you. It's just that they're on the outside looking in. You know what I mean? They don't understand the struggles that you all have.
You gotta leave here. You're the one that have to have common sense and know where you stand. Like, not put too much pressure on yourself. At least get yourself situated, because you can't help other people if you can't even help yourself. Like, I'm not advocating saying no, don't help anybody, but like, you gotta stand up on your 2 feet, be strong, and also you don't want people strong arming you. You don't want to enter into that type of relationship. Is very toxic. Trust me, I've seen this break people down.
Yeah, because to be honest with you, I'm proud of my continental African people that come over here, and do good. You all, if you look at the statistics, you all are actually, as far as immigrants, you all do better than the Mexicans, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Seriously.
Well,
so that's something.
Dr. Damas, do you know how well we do? It is beyond the pale. Like, the numbers, every good statistic, Black American statistic, is literally being supported by the Black immigrant. 61% of all Black doctors are Nigerian. Just the Black doctors. There's what about the rest of sub-Saharan Africa, East Africa? So if it's that high, look at everyone else. If the Black immigrant is literally more than 2/3 of Black doctors, imagine if all the Black immigrants and their children just disappeared. Imagine how bad their situation would be.
I wouldn't be that bad. Let me just say this.
Like, whose situation you're talking about?
You know whose. You know exactly whose situation will be quite dire.
You know what? Let me just say this.
These Black immigrants with the flies and the bushmeat and Rafiki all just disappeared. Just call USCIS. There's clearly something going on with these immigrants, these Black immigrants, because the numbers.
Wait, are you talking about the Black immigrant stress, or like?
Bless her heart. Bless her heart.
Bless whose heart?
Bless your heart.
Bless my heart. Whose heart? You
Your
have
heart.
a pocket full of sunflower seeds, Big Black. Your children read at a 3rd grade level.
My children.
Focus
No,
on yourself. It's
ma'am.
really concerning how
I
the
mean,
Black immigrant has to
the
continue to search your numbers, Big Black. Not
uh-huh.
real Black. Real Black. Black
This is like
numbers, Black
this
thoughts,
is
Black
uh,
dreams.
this is that's why my name is Big Black.
I know
I
you're
keep
Big
it
Black.
black. You know.
We know
Thank
you
you.
keep it Black.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Real
keep it.
Black. Just
This is
Black.
real black.
Just
This
nice.
is real black. You know.
Real Black. We know. We know.
But
The only thing that
but your
matters when it
but your
comes
mind
to
is
you
as
something
white
bad
as
happens
snow.
to you.
It's
You
it's
never
Christmas.
plan.
It's
Wait,
It's
it's
just a
Christmas
Black
in your mind.
one mic, one mic,
It,
one
it,
mic.
it,
You don't
it
even
feels like
plan.
Guys, one
But
mic,
one
one
all
mic.
right. So let me just talk. It seems like a white Christmas in your mind. You know what I mean? It's the Christmas season. You know, it's snowing. You know, are you gonna make a snowman in your mind? Because it's full of whiteness. Now let me go back.
That's the
Some of those
excuse, Pastor
statistics
Thomas.
are
It
skewed.
always goes back to white. Notice that. It
Yeah.
always
No.
goes back to white.
Okay.
Whenever
Can I
you
talk now,
directly speak to them about them, it
ma'am?
will always
Ma'am,
lead to
can I
white.
speak? Can I speak? Can
Either
I speak?
white or Black immigrant. It's
I'm
one or
just
the other. It's never them. It's
I'm
always
just speaking the
somebody else.
obvious. I'm
Guys,
just speaking
one
the
mic.
obvious. Can I speak, ma'am?
Obviously somebody else. It's
Ma'am,
always
can I speak?
calls himself Big Black. Then
I
keep it
mean,
Black.
you've been talking for
Why
a
are
while,
you
ma'am.
mentioning
Oh,
white
guys,
when your
one
name
mic.
is Black? Keep it Black.
Ma'am,
Okay, keep
you've
it
been
Black,
speaking for a
Black.
while.
Okay, keep it
Miss,
Black. Don't mention white.
okay. Let's keep it black. Now, some of those statistics when we talk about households, we know similar, which is cool, similar to like the Mexicans. Some of you pile up in the house like 50 to a car to so a lot of that pile up on, that brings the household income. So
Afrodamas,
you take some of that down.
Immigrant leaving 50 to a house? Who is the
It's
African
like
immigrant who does that?
I see some. I see some coming off. Yeah, they deep. Y'all be deep in the house, man. Can I? It's three two room. It's usually.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell a story here. I'm laughing because there was a place I lived in before in New York, right? In White Plains. So when I moved in, okay, I only came there with one person, but I did not know there's a ton of people that live there too. So I went to sleep and I woke up like so it's like 10 people in the 2 bedrooms.
Was Juju by your ankles? Was Juju sleeping by your ankles?
No,
Like damn,
I was in a room, and then so I'm like walking. I'm trying to go to the bathroom in the morning, and then this guy just came. Like he just came shooting. He ran. He's like, hold on, like it's like we're playing football. He moved me. He ran into the bathroom. He's like, I'm gonna be late for work, But I didn't know how many people lived there. I only stayed there for a little bit. I didn't have the chance to count because people are not there at the same time. But these were all young people, though. Yeah.
I could see that, and Judy has so much money. Why she doing all this complaining? Give grandma some money. You know what I'm saying? Give the brother, sister some money. You making all this cash, and spread the wealth around. Don't act greedy when you come. When you come back home.
But why are you fighting with Juju?
I'm sorry. I forgot. I
mean,
apologize.
we could have just. I think she was just expressing her experience, right?
But
we shouldn't be always like.
I mean, she acted like okay. After that lady extorted her, right? Then someone takes a turn in the store. Like all the black women are taking this turns, saying, "Oh, I have a situation at home," and they're just taking money out of poor Juju's pockets.
Anyway, Afrodamas, this is a very common occurrence at the workplace. The most important is, of course, for Black immigrant women to stay away from them at work. If there's anyone who is least likely to actually work at work, it will probably be a Black woman and maybe a Black man. But every time I go to even a grocery store, it's always the most inappropriate behavior by just Black American women, just inappropriate behavior. And all I'm saying, my focus, Black immigrant women, leave them alone. Focus on your job. If they cause you any trouble, make it clear that you are African and that this is racism and xenophobia. You have to make it clear because you can't pull the HR, because HR is black women and they love to just play pretend. I have no idea.
Is that like is it like from a mostly like a big like from a bigger city in America like
Yeah, like, do you like mostly just work? Are you like in a black city?
No,
no man
no,
yeah
no,
yeah okay, are you asking her Afadamas? Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So Afrodamas, it's not just necessarily a black city, it's just early career. These jobs that are under 75,000, the less money, the more likely it's going to have a higher population of Black American people.
Oh, minority.
Also immigrants. Also immigrants.
Because
the more
like,
money
I've worked with like black people before, like black women. But my experience was different, you know.
Of course,
I think she's
because like me, to be honest, they even hooked me up.
Of course they would, because you're a man.
Yeah, they hooked me up with
the more money you make, it becomes better for the Black immigrant woman and to become professional. Once you're specialized and licensed, then things begin to change because there's more accountability at your job. So when you work with them, there's no accountability, and you deal with this same extortion as if you're in the village. They start making demands of money and resources. If you don't give it to them, they get very, very angry. The villagers will just cast a spell. These Black American women will just physically assault you, or they'll start getting involved with like white women.
You don't have to worry about that no more. Trump is in now, so you'll be escorted. You know, ICE will come get you to escort you back to.
I hope they do. Come take me away. Take me away. Call ICE.
You're the first on the list. I found out you're the first on the list.
I should be the very first one. I should be the very first one. And then
they're gonna come get you and take you to your luxurious life in the motherland. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. Believe me. You know, you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Why do you deny that child support? Big Black, how come you can't get a driver's license?
That was cute.
Afrodamas, if you wonder why Black men can't get a driver's license, oh no, they can't get IDs. Oh no, because they owe back child support. So worry about your own household, Big Black.
Why are you cosplaying?
On you and figure out your criminal activity, which really is just will not pay child support. And stop robbing that liquor store. Leave these old people alone, begging, staying begging.
I think she's cosplaying. I think she's cosplaying.
A Publix receipt.
I think she's an African American woman cosplaying as a continental African.
I absolutely am. An FBA. You didn't know that? You should.
Oh, she's cosplaying now.
She cosplaying.
I am. Absolutely. Did you not know? Big Grande Negrito Grande. That's what the Latinos call him. Because
since you brought that up, you know, like Trump is gonna remove the no more DEI. So now that's gonna take away, you know, the Black women their power.
Yes, it will.
Are you sad for them? Are you sad? Because doesn't that trickle down to you?
Absolutely not. No, because I perform. I look the way I look with a stomach full of fufu egusi soup, which has lemon. Seriously.
Man, dude, why do you like saying that though? Like saying
when we eat African food every day. I ate African food every single day, and it made me tall and strong. I never get sick, and I perform. Afrodamas, every job I've ever had, I'm number one by far.
So do you get pressure to send money to your village?
I absolutely pay them nothing. My mother can do that for these villagers.
Oh, come on, man. What about your granny? What about your granddad?
So instead your remittance goes to the Blacks then. The Blacks are making sure you pay.
The Blacks in America, they've received all their reparations from me. They've taken enough away from me. Dealing with them and their behavior, I am done. And in actuality, they've already received reparations. And they got it. They're done. They got enough. They're done.
You know what? the way those Africans are stressed, it looks like these blacks have caused you that stress, collecting the money.
They have. It's just they have, and you have to cut some black immigrants have to cut off the villagers. Those of us here have to cut off Black America. Just stop giving them money, stop associating with them. It's just a hard cut off. It's just it's either juju or you're going to be physically assaulted. Like it's either way. You're giving these people money, and it's never going to be enough. So just ignore them. That's literally what I do. You think it's either would have been the villagers
like
or Black American women. It's the same emotional blackmail. They see a
I
target.
think when it
They
comes
come
like
directly to the young African girl because they see a
when
target.
that lady asked you for money, did she put a gun to your head and say,
I
"Hey"?
think when it comes to women, they tend to think emotionally sometimes. Like when it comes to helping each other. I mean, like man, you can't trick man with that kind of like all this crap. Like it's not going to happen to a
I'm a
man.
single mom. I'm a single mom. I need milk. I need this. I need this. Help me. Help
Like
me.
even if you tell me
And
that
men
you're
are
a
going
single,
to
I'm
tell
like,
everyone at their job that they're a single mother.
yeah, I'm gonna look
They
at you
need
like,
help.
yeah, man. I didn't give birth to a baby, man. I'm not doing that shit.
Are you
Like
going
that's
to
how
have
I think.
and use your coworkers as to supplement your child support? And not only that, I've seen them use that they run this scam on it's very easy with Black immigrant women because you feel so bad. It's a Black American woman, it's my sister. Like they know how to hustle, scam. These women are pros.
What was
And
the was the
For me,
workforce?
when I used to work for the state,
they retaliate. Let these companies do with them as they will. Just when you see more than two of them, just start planning to get out.
Was
Any and
the
every job.
was the company full of African immigrant women, and is just one African American woman scamming?
The best part is once you hit 60, 65,000, there's fewer Black American women. That once you get into the higher tax bracket, you see more and more immigrants. It's real funny how Black America, you built everything, but once they're at that certain income bracket, you all just disappear. You're not even there to be found. None of you.
Yeah,
And they're military veterans.
Yeah, but Juju,
African figures is Black American men military.
yeah, but Juju, still let's not like misconstrue as like your annual salary as something equivalent to like wealth. There's a disparity between like both. Like you can probably make more money at like
it's
salary
not what
wise,
you
but
make, it's what you can keep out of it, what you make out.
save and invest. Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and see,
exactly.
Afrodamus, the lies that she's spewing is the reason why her people are pimping her back at home, because they think she has all this money, and then all the Africans, they're all in the the high class, and then they're like, okay, you making that bread, you living that good life, break bread.
Because I was like, think about it though. Let's just imagine you make $100,000 a year for the
Notice
rest of
big Black,
for
like
the
you
rest of
see the
for the
hustle
rest of
mentality. They always think hustle. Oh, you got money. Oh, you got money. I'm gonna get some too. That's how they think, Afrodamas. It's never performance or merit. It's always the hustle. It's always scheming and scamming. Stay away from
I,
it.
I, I don't understand. I mean,
So
all you
you
all are
saying,
at the top. I mean, if you're
I
at the
don't
top,
understand why you're talking
wait,
about. I don't get it. What are
if you
you
if,
talking
if
about?
you're all making
wait.
200,000,
Oh, what are you
that's
talking about? I don't have no idea what you're talking about.
you
What?
have
No
two.
way.
You make
Are you
20.
talking about?
You
I
make
got
2,500,000. I mean, what's the
you make
problem? You can't.
500,000. Why can you just break me off a piece?
I mean, come on, man. You can't get Mama. She brought you into this world. You ever heard a song called "Dear Mama"? You
Dear
really
mama,
need to.
your mama some
You
money.
you
They
know
can give you
you,
money.
you really need to thank your people for
Give
bringing
me,
you in
give me,
this world. They didn't have to raise you. They didn't have to bring you into this
money.
world, and then they have to ship you off to America to give you a better education.
hold on, guys. Let's take a quick commercial break.
Lend thy ears to the freedomers. Pay attention to the freedomers. The true Soninke warrior. Naturalist, he's intelligent.
All right, we returned.
You know what, Afrodamus? I apologize for those jokes I made. I did shit 2 lines. God damn. Okay. All right, man. No more jokes. I'm sorry. I didn't know you was that bad with it. Yeah, I apologize.
What happened to Juju?
I don't know. She dropped off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean.
Zongo, you were gonna say something.
Yeah. I mean, like the. I mean, yeah. The annual salary thing. Yeah. I disagree.
Zongo, how do you like Big Black? How you like seeing me with my pet lions?
That's,
Man, you was walking.
yeah,
You was doing
I
your
like that
thing, man.
music too, man. I like that music. That was great.
Yeah.
It's like, man, the
Yeah,
real
that's made for me specially. Hold on,
the
let me
real
let
sign
you
of
hear it.
like
Play it again, Aphrodite.
Lend thy ears to the freedomers. Pay attention to the freedomers. The true Soninke warrior. Natural is his intelligence. As a true professor. Solution to brainwash diseases. Sit back, relax, and hear the wisdom. Afridamas will heal your minds. Sit back, reflect, you'll find no objection. Afridamas will clear your doubts here. Always log on to the Afridamas. Lend thy ear.
Is that
damn,
should I?
man, Afinamas, and this like this Negroes out here thinking that, oh, they're tough, man. They got to go to Africa, man, and see how tough they are, man.
I really want to. I really wanted more of a zoom in to the face because that could have been like a double. But I'll just give you the benefit of the doubt and say that's you, even though I know AI is real also. So
Right.
you know,
Wait, what are you trying to say, Big Black?
I'm saying look like you, but like you had the little fisherman hat on. I didn't see your face fully.
What the heck?
You know, but I'll just give you the benefit of the doubt, though. Yeah.
Wait, are you trying to say that's not me?
I'm saying that probably was like your twin brother, or
See,
maybe like
see my hat.
wait a
See
minute.
it?
Is that the same hat you wore? Go back to
Yeah.
the video. Go back to the video. Let me see the video.
No, we saw that. That was the same hat.
It's
Yeah,
the
That's the
there you
same
same
go.
hat.
hat.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
take up for it, Zago. We want to see this.
No, we saw the man. He was
That's the same hat.
man. He was really controlling those lions,
Okay,
man. Can
I'm
you
with
tell me an FBA Negro who can do that in
you.
America?
I don't know no FBAs. I know
No.
African Americans. I don't.
That's right. Why you think?
African
Why,
American.
Juju? Do you think Tariq Nasheed can do that?
Oh, the lions would have already eaten him. It would have, just imagine, and then that tough meat. He would have been tough.
Can you imagine like Kyla being the tough
Look,
Negro in Africa,
it
man?
looks like this video is so good. Lisa Nicole said, "I thought it was AI." No, I was working with the lions.
Man, I didn't even believe it. The first time you played, I didn't believe that. I had to watch it the second time. Damn, like that's really Afridamus. I'm African myself, but I respect you as an African too. Like if I want
Zago,
African,
have you ever done that, Zago? Let's be real.
man, like I want Africans. There's tears to that too. There's
Oh, so you ain't. So
African.
basically, you said no. Basically, that's what you
Nah,
said.
man. Afridamus got the heart, man. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
a
that's
Negro
what's.
warrior. So
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
the,
bad.
That's what an African American does.
yeah, I
But
love these
you
Negroes,
learned
man.
that from your, what I'm saying, your people. They've been doing that for like thousands of years, right?
That's right.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So yeah, like next time, I might have to take some people to go, walking with my lions.
So Afridamus, like like, but so what do you think? Like the solution is, like because it seems to me that if you want to like achieve economic prosperity in America as an African migrant, you might have to break
Habit.
some traditional rules that has been established for decades.
Absolutely.
Otherwise the cycle is going to continue like and never change.
Yeah. I mean, like, you can't give into other people's desire because you know what your plan is. So you can't put yourself in a situation where you can't help yourself, and you can't help them either. You
Do
see
you
what
also think? Do you also think sometimes the other Africans might be the problem? So sometimes
yes,
they
they are.
use, they use the success of, let's say, oh, Afridamus' friend well, he went there like recently, and he built a lot of houses. And it's like, oh, look at your friend. He just went
Yes,
there
they do. They do.
recently,
They do
and
do
he's
that.
building
But
this and that. Like you've been here for decades, and you haven't done nothing. Like
yeah,
they
but
always
you're
use
not in a
others to
competition.
judge.
You gotta ignore all that because you have your own plan.
Aphrodite, can I ask you a question? Because I noticed like the two lines, one of the line, his mouth was sucking in, and he was kind of, at the end, he was kind of leaning on towards the other line, right? Is that the line you took the teeth from?
Man, Big Black still like. I mean, Afrodamus, like the kind of video you showed, it kind of reinforces the stereotype that African Americans have about Africans. Oh, no, they are like living lions back there.
But see, since I'm a Soninke warrior, I mean, I control my lion, so it's not all the Africans that can do this either.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Much respect, man.
So, like, most of the African American, are they like? Do you give them validity for asking those kind of questions to any average African? They are
Yeah,
like living
yeah.
lions,
Like
and
I've had people ask me for whatever reason, maybe I look like a guy who would actually do this. They would ask me, "Do you have pet lions?"
Now the lions are usually like around Zimbabwe, right? Kind of like in South Africa, right?
like savannah,
They're everywhere.
They're
savannah
everywhere.
areas.
That's in
Yeah,
Gambia.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
but yeah, they have lions all
I mean
across
the natural habitat is generally savannah areas, right? I mean,
savannah.
when I say like
Plus,
if you find
you have to remember, to many Americans, especially with the Lion King, the accent it gives Mufasa. So, so people are going to just kind of when they the Lion
oh
King,
okay,
the Lion
Yes,
King was just
Patala. Yes, that's
the Lion
inside.
King was just so popular. So when they hear like an African man with the African thunder, the thunder
Uh-huh.
accent, and so it's a positive connotation. So they kind of think like Mufasa. Everybody loves the movie. They think
oh
Mufasa,
okay, so that's
right?
where they got it from, right? Okay.
It's just because from when we were kids, especially people now. So it's only meant. It really is meant like as like a positive connotation because people.
Okay.
The movie just goes so hard. Everybody loves it. Like they never even stopped making
So,
new movies. The movie.
wait, someone said, "Did Kala see those lions?" Why are you guys messing with Kala?
I see Juju. She's on a college show sometimes, so I give her credit. She's getting just a little bit more Pan African. I think like a 0.5%. She's a little Pan African. We're working on her. We're working on her.
Oh, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? What is she? What is she now? What do you think she is
Wait,
now?
Zongo, do you think Kala will be motivated after he sees that video and go do his lion walk?
Man, man, Kyle, man. After seeing your video, Kyle probably gonna sit his ass in America. Man, he's not going back to Nigeria.
Like, why would he even be in Africa? Like, that's why I can understand an African American. You learn about your tribe, like you do DNA ancestry, you go travel, but that's a big step to just move to Africa, especially a country where you don't even have like direct familial lineage. So it's just sometimes I do wonder, nothing against African Americans or who go visit, which it makes sense.
You think lots should move to Nigeria since they're
Absolutely not. Blacks move to Nigeria. You're not from Africa. You need to stay where you're from. And also Afrodamus, with Trump coming in, there's a very good possibility because these illegal immigration, this does not affect Black people. I am concerned about the Haitians. I am personally about the Haitians. That's really it. If they want to deport Nigerians, good luck with. Go ahead, do that. Just go ahead, do that. If everybody else, West African immigrants assimilate very, 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 very well.
Yeah, they say most Africans assimilate in America very quickly in America.
It's not even quickly. It's like within like a year. All it takes is if you're African, just go to class, just go to school, enroll in school. That's all it takes. Because once you pick up on the American accent, because Americans do speak faster than everybody else. And another thing, Black Africans love class. Black Africa loves to go to school. Just a whole continent full of
Yeah,
nerds.
man. Yeah, you don't want to do that, man.
Africa, that's another reason why Africans are
Yeah,
successful.
man.
A place that loves education, yeah, you're going to be successful in the United States because you need to learn, you need to know how to read. That's why
No,
Africa.
Juju, I see why a lot of them don't like you on the platform because like when you speak this with this kind of energy, they're like, damn, like it's almost like you kind of throwing shot at them. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, because I do. Well, I am
When,
activated. I do come
yeah,
correct,
when you
and
say
we
highly
and this
of
is
like,
how we are. Like we move quickly. Like we don't have time to waste. Like come on, think about it. Within 10 years, my dad was done Aphrodite, and Mufasa told him to go get married. Return, come back. Like they got mad at him. My dad went quickly, and that included citizenship. In the early 80s, we moved quickly. We don't have time to be BSing around. The others, they want to open taco stands. They don't want to put their daughters into college. They want to they use their children for green cards. They don't invest in their children. That's why they replicate the way they do. And now Trump and these other white people are angry because you just took over moving with no purpose, which I know it sounds bad, Aphrodite. That is the philosophy of cancer. When you replicate with no purpose, that is a philosophy of cancer. And there's a certain immigrant group that has abused the system and they have not assimilated. And now everybody is mad. Everyone is mad. We're good. Black immigrants, as long as you're legal, you're good.
Oh,
Because you already have a track record.
the only thing the Nigerian woman move
There
quickly
is
with
more
is
than
white
2
men. They
years.
move quickly a
There
lot
is
with
more
white
than
men.
2 years
White men,
college.
they move super fast. They move like hyenas with white men. They move like cheetahs with
Anyway,
white men. A lot of the Western
Wait,
Nigerians, they
Aphrodite,
move extremely
wait.
quickly and
anyway,
fast. They're like quick. They're like they're like lightning.
America,
But when it comes to white men, they're very
notice
they
white
they
men,
very they move very
about
fast.
white
They
men,
they they
notice
they leave
about
Cujo
white,
as soon as they get off the
notice it's white,
as
it's
soon as they
always
get off the
white.
plane and they go find them a white man. They're very quick with
Black
finding
is
white
black,
men.
Guys,
white
one
men.
mic, guys,
Okay,
one
Where
one
did
mic.
white men?
Hold on, Juju.
Where
guys,
did that come from?
Juju,
guys,
White
one
you
mic.
people
all.
are black.
Oh,
You are
did I?
still black.
Uh,
Yet you
they
only go to white
they
men.
go find Big
You
White.
will
You know, they
never
go
be.
find
You
a
will
man.
never
You
join
know,
their
they go find
because
Little White.
you
You
will
know,
have their women
they
Guys, one
love.
mic, guys.
their own.
one
One
mic
mic.
at one mic
I
at
was
a
just
time.
talking, Juju. Let me
And
just
yet
talk
you
about
always talk
the.
about
What? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say.
Guys, one
Yeah.
mic.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Aphrodite
I
always
mean, it is true that the number one country that
I
of
gotta pick it
women
up.
Thomas,
the number one country of women that chase after white men is Nigerians.
and white
I'm pretty sure Juju has a.
Guys, one mic. Guys, one mic.
I'm sorry. Can I speak real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure Juju has a pocket Brad. You know, probably going with a pocket Brad, and pretty much she doesn't send money home because she's steady giving it to a white midget. So that's something that Nigeria needs to work on as far as just
I
the whole
think this like
divesting.
you like the midget word. Remember you said I
I'm
was
sorry.
midget too?
You know what? You know what? I think because I think it seems like she like you, but she want a white version of you. So I just, I figured that the guy would probably be a midget.
Why white?
Huh? Because I mean, let's be real. Look, I probably would bet money that she probably has a white
Why
hubby.
always like when you're trying to throw a shot at Africa, you always throw like white people out there, like
Cause I mean, let's
black
be real,
people, like
Zongo.
black
You
Americans.
asking me a question? Let me be real, man.
Yeah, actually, I
There's
see
a
like
lot
black
of
Americans don't do that all the time. Like
there's
you
a
walk
lot of
around
white
seeing
chasing, y'all. It's a lot of you chase. A lot of y'all chase after white people when y'all get over here. Let's be real. Y'all marry
black
y'all.
Americans and
I
black
mean,
Americans,
I
black
mean,
Americans don't do
if,
that.
listen, Zongo. A Nigerian woman told me if it ain't white, it ain't right. So I'm just
And black
it's
Americans don't do that.
what I'm hearing. Not as much. It's just that it's that whole white Jesus thing. Y'all got a big
Yeah,
thing of white
there's a
Jesus.
lot of
You
there's a
know
lot
that
of
you see that statue of white Jesus like come here, my child, up
a
in
lot of
Africa.
the
You
a
you
lot
seen
of
that?
the even a lot of the I mean the black intellectuals that I do respect. Sometimes when I try to see who their spouse is. You know, it's
Oh,
really
Zongo,
like,
my fault. You know, what,
it's really
I
weird, you know.
apologize. You do have a white wife. I'm sorry, Zongo. I apologize. Is your wife white?
No, I don't have no snow bunny wife. You know, a lot of like Black American intellectuals and politicians. You know,
So is that a
they
yes
call
or
it
no,
snow bunnies.
Zongo? I
Even
didn't hear you.
even
Is that
even 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 Clarence Thomas. You know, the head of like
uh
the Supreme Court justice. You know, he was
yeah,
married to a black woman, but he
yeah.
divorced her,
But
and
but
he's
what about you,
snow bunny
Zongo? Do
now.
you have a white wife? Are you?
No, I don't.
Oh, I thought you had. I thought you. Oh, so
Big Black,
you
do you
did.
have a wife? Do you have a wife?
That's my business, man.
Afrodamus, notice he will run his mouth with everybody else's business. He will bring up white people, but of course, you know, Big Black.
He told me his wife was white at one
You
time. I'm
know,
sorry.
Big Black will never marry a black woman. He's going to wait until he's 55 and then turn her into a hospice wife. They never marry their women.
That was funny.
They only use black women to make babies, leave,
Come
and
up, like for come up. You know,
he will
it's
only
really
use a black woman
yeah.
for air conditioning and her womb, nothing else.
Yeah, it's really like disheartening, you know, especially like a lot of like intellectuals that I really respect when I Google like who their wife was. I'm like, damn, like really? Really? And then a lot of black people look up to you guys.
I don't mind them swirling, you know, but I just don't want them to take advantage of those old white men. Those white men be like 91 and shit, and you know, ready to die. That's not fair to the family. You know, it's like you're going after his will. So that's what I take from it.
Sure. Let's bring in Buana. Buana, welcome to the Afrodamus Report.
Sure.
Buana, are you there? We can't hear you.
Hey, Juju, that hospice wife was a good one. That was just crazy.
Buana, are you there? Oh, I don't know. Something happened. We can't hear you. Let me drop him and bring him back. Are you there? No, I don't know. Something happened to him.
Yeah, he probably might have to like log out and sign out and probably like rejoin the stream again. Yeah. You know, it's just like a lot of them just want to choose shout out like Africans as them being marrying like snow bunnies, you know? You know? It's not the case. Those Africans want, they'll marry like, you know, black Americans, you know. But you know, if
You know
black
what? Now you guys have inspired a show. I'm gonna do a show on who
love most
yeah.
black Americans or Africans who love Snow Bunny the most. Do a show on that.
Oh, yeah. What about the Brads? I mean, should Juju show up?
Should who?
Juju show up. I'm pretty sure she got a Brad sitting at home, you know.
Because Afrodamus, these men, these black American men like Big Black, they do not want black women giving their money anywhere outside away from them. This is what they do. They want you to give them your money. If the African immigrant is dealing with the villagers who are demanding money, imagine when you're in the same country with these characters who do nothing for you. Because at least the villagers, they're going to cook for you, they love you, and
Guys,
they
hit the like.
pray for you. You get nothing from them. His sisters and his mothers, they give you nothing but just betrayal and psychoses. They do nothing, and they're all liars, and they will physically assault you.
Listen,
Juju, are you married to a black American or dating one?
My God, I don't even allow them in my zip code.
No, man, Nigerians don't like black Americans.
I don't want them here. You're not coming where I live. I am black parent.
A lot of Nigerians, unfortunately,
they
don't like black.
They can stay where they stay. You're not coming here where I live.
Listen, if you type up,
hold on, Big Black, let us speak.
They do not want to focus and build families. If I saw one of them with an actual family, then I'll leave them alone. But once you see them moving around alone or in groups like vagabonds, I'm telling you, it's demonic behavior. They don't bring you anything. They literally will target the black immigrant just so they can run scam hustle. And they will every opportunity partner up with white trash. Am I lying? No. Always remember, you can never understand their dynamic between a master and a slave. We're never going to understand their dynamic. White America and Black America are the original Americans. They've been here for over 400 years together. The average Black American is 20 to 30% Caucasian, English, German, Caucasian.
Listen,
Do you know the number of white people in the United States, Afrodamas, who are actually like 3 to 8% Black? Like there's a lot of white people who are single digit Black, and they all come from West Africa, Togo and Benin. That's slavery. They bred each other. They're one and the same. Don't think that they're against each other. They are all together. One of the many reasons Big Black always goes back to white people. He will never speak about himself.
No wonder the white women here in America,
like his family,
their budankodang is better than the ones in Europe.
Okay, listen.
Cement, Afrodamas. That's not for food. That is cement. And like glue. And like,
let's just take statistics. Let's just cut to the chase, right? If you look up, if you type up and look, like if you do a search, if you do a YouTube search for Cynthia G, you won't see her channel, but you see a whole bunch of Nollywood videos from desperate Nigerian women that are swirlers. They tend to, if you know, I used to think there was, you know, there's a lot of attractive Nigerian women, sure, right?
Let's
but
allow
hold on. Let me just speak, right? Because you let us speak for a minute, right? But it seems like a lot of them lose their value because soon as like an 88-year-old white man touches the ground, they rush him like he's Michael Jackson. And I think that needs to stop. I think you all need to, you know, pay more attention to your men and stop, you know, chasing after other men because you're making it seem like you don't like your own men.
Yeah.
Yeah, is Juan on the
Juan, is your mic working?
Can you hear me?
Yourself.
Can you hear
yes,
me?
we can hear you now. What do you want to add
Can you
to
hear
the
me?
topic? Yes.
Yeah.
As far as you know, this Africans are stressing out, and you know about these remittances where people are using them and they're just tired of it.
Yeah, I think that I think that Juju is a little bit unfair when she is talking about the African American community. I think that she uses a whole lot of stereotypes, and that's very unfair. And let me say this, you know, I appreciate the African Americans for what they have done in terms of immigration, and even white Americans in terms of allowing immigration into that country. Because in my country, let me tell you the trick to the immigrant success. Okay, so in my country, doing what I do, I can make $40,000 a year. But if I were to get an American passport, I automatically make $200,000 a year. Automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that since I've been able to exist and live off of $40,000 a year, imagine what I could do with $200,000 a year. So for many people, that is a lottery. That's a lottery ticket. All I need to do is to give my skill set to the American economy, and they automatically pay me $200,000 a year. So imagine what that could do. So automatically, since I've been able to live off the $40,000 a year, I would be automatically successful in America. Automatically. So for the people who have given me an opportunity to do that, I'm grateful. I mean, I don't slight them. People like Big Black and his ancestors, and they've been diligent in trying to allow mixed migration into their country. I would never disparage them. And I think that
thank you.
Yeah, I think that Juju is unfair sometimes. I understand for what she sees a lot of indiscipline, but that doesn't say that is the majority of African Americans. So I think that she's unfair sometimes in her analysis. She sounds very professional.
This man speaking, he was not raised in the United States. He was not raised here. He moved here to work, which is fantastic.
No, I wasn't. Yes.
But when I'm referring to, it is a very different, unique experience when you are 100% raised in the United States. Like a great example would be the comedian Godfrey. There are many African immigrants who come from his type of background, where you are first generation, but your family has been here for like 40, 50, 60 years. That's where I'm coming from, where I have no knowledge of the village. I don't know Africa. I don't even think I'm African. I don't even think that. I don't know what any of that is. All I know is my experience right here. You, luckily, you have both sides, and you are specialized. So you're not even like most immigrants. You're like 5% of most immigrants who come to the United States. You have a very, very, very unique skill. You are specialized. So your experience is nothing like anybody else's. And good for you.
But Juju, you would agree that some African Americans assisted in having the so-called mixed migration, not only with just Europe, because there used to be a time where it was just European immigration into this country. And there are people who fought to have more of a diverse groups of people coming into the country. And that included African Americans as well. So I think that sometimes it would be unfortunate and unfair to castigate them and beat them up now, since you don't perceive them as being as diligent as a person as you in the workforce. I think that's I understand where you're coming from, but I think that you are very hard on them. I think you're very hard. You know,
understand, Juana.
She was speaking from her experience when it comes to.
She was very hard, Zonko.
I was very hard.
At the workplace.
One instance, and I had to bring up.
But that doesn't. What she's brought up didn't bring up.
The workplace
doesn't account for extortion. That was a very harsh word to use. Extortion.
Buana, I bring up the workplace because similarly, like school, the workplace is where we all congregate. So as you understand, so you're going to have various backgrounds that all come together as one. Like in the American school system, American high school, everybody comes together depending on your zip code. So and especially college, the American college, you get everybody, immigrants, international, everyone goes to college. So when you have these congregated groups like the workplace, it's a very, very, very different, unique experience because you are coming in as a specialized immigrant. You're not like 95% of everybody else. 95% have no skills. You have all the skills. You don't know that type of workplace where you're working with people who are entry level and do not have your type of specialized skills. Everybody else in the United States, because you just said 200,000, that is completely, most people are never going to touch that.
What's really happening though is that sometimes, and I understand your experience, but sometimes what happens is,
you see big black stuff because he's not going to understand, he doesn't understand just income, like tax bracket. He's not specialized. Buana, once you reach 100,000 in the United States, it is completely different. Completely different. Not only do you see more people like yourself, Buana, specialized immigrants, that's where you people come in.
I didn't see you. I didn't see. I'm there. I don't see nobody.
You do see fewer Black Americans. I'm just being very honest. I want it with the type of. I don't need to even know the type of work that you do.
I see fewer continental Africans, but I didn't see a lot of continental Africans at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
The type of work that you do, more than likely, you're working with Americans who have clearance. Number one, so they're already gone through background.
Yes. How did you know? How did you know?
Really, Buana? No way. Buana, I've been here forever. I've been living here. This is all I know, and all I do is study. I know you work with people with clearance. Why? Because you're an immigrant who's billing at 200,000. They're not going to put any American to someone like you. You are specialized.
He didn't tell you he was making that money. Why would you?
No, but you just clearance. Like you see what I'm saying? Like I can keep going, and I know I'm going to be.
I understand what you mean. No, I understand exactly.
So you are not. You've never worked with these types of Americans. You
Okay,
come
let
in
me
out
ask you
the
something.
gate
Then what is
You're
clearance?
never going to work with Big Black, Buana. You will never work with a Big
What
Black.
is
No,
clearance?
You're
no,
What
never.
is clearance? I'm just
clearance.
being. What is
Big
clearance?
Black
No,
cannot
no.
even pass the SAT.
Hold
What's
on,
the
hold on,
SAT
hold
score, Big
on.
Black?
What is
Big
clearance?
Black, what's
I
the
tell you.
SAT score?
No, I tell
Big
you.
Black, what's
Can
your
I
SAT
ask the
score?
man what is
Oh man,
clearance?
Big Black, what was
Okay,
the SAT
guys,
score?
guys.
You're not going to
don't do
tell us.
that.
You already know.
Okay,
Ma'am, can I talk real quick?
Big Black. If you work for companies, if you work for the DoD, or I work for cybersecurity. You know, I'm a cybersecurity professional, right?
You don't have to
okay,
disclose your. You don't have to disclose like.
Sorry.
your,
Yes, sir. So if you're dealing with certain kinds of information, if you're
That's
dealing
IT,
with certain
huh?
kinds
That's
of
somewhere.
information, you have.
So it's something
Yes,
to do
sir.
with IT.
So you have.
Okay, that's all you have to tell me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's cool.
Yes, sir. So you have.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to have certain. Okay. So you understand?
Yeah. It's in the field of
Okay.
IT. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's all. I want you to give more information than you need to. Okay.
Awesome. All right.
But I appreciate the brothers. I appreciate Juju. I appreciate you, Big Black. I appreciate
Buana,
you. I just
congrats
wanted to
on your
chime
work.
in for 2
Congratulations
seconds.
on your work, sir. Congratulations. It's good to hear from
Yeah,
you.
no sweat. Congratulations to all of y'all. Afrodamus is really the wealthy man on the panel. Yeah, he's the richest man on the panel. But I appreciate y'all, brothers and sisters. I'll continue to listen in. Good night.
Good night.
See, Afrodamus, let me just say this real quick. Hold on. Hey, can I say this real quick, Juju?
Where is the Black American
Juju, I was talking first. Juju, I was talking first. Juju,
guys, one mic.
Juju, let me talk. Let me talk. You was talking for a while. Juju, you were talking for a while. Big Black. Afrodamus, can I talk?
Yes.
She has been talking for a while.
You're welcome.
Hold on, guys. One mic.
First of all, if you're not in the IT field, you're not going to know those type of things unless you're in the IT field. Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, Big Black.
Okay, so you got to be in the field. Hold on, man.
Guys, let's end it on a good note. Let's do our closing statement.
Okay, let me do a closing. Okay. See, what happened is, because I don't think she's telling the whole story.
Wait, can you go back to the original topic?
This is the original topic about extortion. And what happened is AA was extorting Juju. She was extorting that old white man at her job. He was about like 89 years old.
Yeah, man.
And what happens is after you start extorting the old white boss, and then after you get that position, now you think you're one of them. You think you're part of the slave patrol. So you go around with the women, and you start, trying to, push your weight around, and they let you know, you'll never be Miss Cartwright. So I think that's what happened, and it's unfortunate that your fall from grace was terrible, but you got to get over it, ma'am. Okay, so that's all I want to say. All right,
thank you. No
problem.
Afrodamus, I'm just want to wrap up real quickly, and then I'll leave so you and Zongo can
he can do his closing too.
He can do his closing. I just want to say it's really interesting. We just had the gentleman, Bawan. Bawan came on this show. He spoke a little bit about his background. He's an immigrant. I'm just going to assume he's an immigrant. And it's just so interesting that the response from Big Black is to once again start talking about this white man and all this other random stuff. Like, do you see where how they go? You have this one Black immigrant talking about his work, the money that he makes. Very interesting. And then Black America, that response back to white people, white man, and this job, like it's just pathetic. And it really, really reflects what everybody has been stating. You don't want to be taken seriously. When someone else is talking about their skills, their money, the type of work that they do, that really means something in the United States. What you do, your work, it goes to core being because that ties back into purpose. It's funny, the Black immigrants, West Africa, East Africa, North Africa, South Africa, everyone else seems to move with purpose. Even the Khoisan, those Khoisan people who don't want to, who just run around the African Valley, they seem to have better purpose. But when it comes to Black America and anything said about them and their behavior and their complete and total lack of just purpose, moving in the affirmative, not speaking about what's happening to me, all these people doing things to me, and they always seem to bring up white people. Everything goes back to white people, the people they secretly love. They talk badly about white people. They love white people. They love white people. It's just whenever Black immigrants speaks about anything that has nothing to do with white, they always bring it right back to white people every single time.
Yeah, after that, we gotta do a show on that though. That would be great.
Why is it okay? The Black immigrant work, school, more work. That's it. That's all you hear from Black immigrants is what they do for work, what they're doing for school. That's all you ever hear. And then now, Afrodamas, you're mentioning a good point. Everyone's working so much. You're giving all your money to the villagers. This is what can we do?
Why are you calling them villages though? Not all of them are villages though. Some stay in the cities too.
I use a pejorative term because I use a pejorative term.
Okay.
So you know what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
I just refer to them as the villagers. I say it with love. But the villagers are demanding. They are demanding. At least the villagers, you get love and good food. What do you get from Black America except heartache? They're not even cooking for you. And even if they did cook for you, you wouldn't eat their food because we don't eat their food.
You don't eat soul food?
It has to be homemade. And a lot of that you have to be careful because I don't want to eat pork. But Afrodamas, just leave them alone. Just leave them alone. And Afrodamas, you don't want your children with them. Because my parents were a little bit more lenient with the younger two and problems arose. The oldest two, we stayed away.
Why do you say that though? Why do you say that?
They just started being a little bit more lenient. Just letting them.
It's like you don't have kids with them. Why would you say that?
I'm not saying have kids with them. I'm just saying just be wary.
Oh,
like
okay.
Just be wary. Just keep like your eye open and your ear never shut. Just because they stay targeting African immigrants. And did you not watch the link I sent you, Afrodamas? You see what happened to that East African girl? And she's been here for decades. The story never ends well.
Oh wait, you mean like the girl at the hospital? What I think Afrodamas did a show on that, right?
Yeah.
No, there was an East African girl. Like she's done a lot of like she just stays around Black America a lot. And
you mean the doctor who was
no, she's not a doctor. There's just another woman. But there's so many stories of like you're seeing either African American Black immigrant women being harassed by Black American women. Like, and it's never discussed that it's just allowed for them to bully. You can bully and abuse, and no different than a white woman. And the worst part is with white people, there's the actual racism aspect. And then you can push it as a hate crime. Like action can be taken against them. Nothing is taken against them. And furthermore, white people have actual things to lose. Racism is bad for business. They learned that the hard way. When it comes to Black America, they don't care. They don't own anything. They don't do anything. They can just inflict harm on the Black immigrant who they think is taking away from them. You think you're better. Because you've just worked. Anything that comes off white, working at your desk on a computer is white. Being happy and smiling is white. Just moving about your day in a positive attitude is white. You cannot even be a happy village girl. You cannot just be a smart Black girl, content and confident as a Black woman. You cannot be a confident, dark-skinned Black woman with Black America. You had to be angry. You had to be an activist. You had to get caught in their nonsense. You had to give them money. Oh, Afrodamas, I'm done. Have a good night. Goodbye, Congo.
Thank you.
Yeah, good night. Well, Afrodamas, as usual, great show. Yeah, I think this is a very interesting topic. A lot of the Africans, I think it's just most people in general, we just don't have much knowledge about financial literacy.
Right.
And when we think we're making probably, the six figures, we think that is equivalent to making wealth or probably having generational wealth. No, that's not, It's always making sure your expenditure is below your income. That's how you can be able to save and invest.
So what do you think, for example, even explaining it to those people, would that even work?
No, I don't know. You mean like the people in America? Like, oh,
No, back home,
no,
like,
no, no. No, a lot of them do not understand financial literacy. I mean, it's just they call it in Ghana.
no,
They
like
call it hunt.
explaining it to them, like, hey, you your life is hard too.
Oh no, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You just gotta be, you just gotta be like, firm. For me, I've been like a student leader before, so I know how to like say no. Like, I don't care if you
Mhm.
get mad at me or not. But a lot of people, they use psychological, emotional blackmail on you. Like they might speak to a relative.
Yeah.
They say, "Oh, you don't call it. You don't call all the time." Like even me myself, like personally, I don't call in a while because anytime I know like they're gonna be asking me about money, I get tired of stuff like that. I just call like once in a blue moon. But anyway, like I was saying, the only way like the general like two ways to make money is either like you inherited a lot of money or maybe you invest or start a business. That's
Right.
how you can
If
make
you don't,
money.
if you didn't get lucky to inherit it, hey, if nobody left you some, make sure you leave somebody some.
Yeah,
That's
I feel like think about it though. I mean, just imagine if you make $100,000 a year in the next 3 decades, that is almost equivalent to $3 million.
yeah, but you
Just so
mean,
you had a mortgage.
you're gonna
Go
be
ahead.
paying bills.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying like $3 million, right? And then let's say you have a mortgage almost close to 80K. Washington State, it's a lot is expensive, right? Like 800K, right? You have kids, you
I
have
mean,
like
you can live
living.
within your means.
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people, I'm not thinking from that angle. Like
Or below
like
your means.
living below your means is the way to go. Live below your
You have to
means.
do
Don't
that at a certain point in your life,
exactly stop keeping
and
up with the
because
Joneses.
you're trying to get someplace.
Yeah,
So, but in the process of that, you can't give all that to the Africans, because when you're sending it to be consumed, that's, it takes a toll on your mind as a person, because people like to see what they are working for. That's just human nature. But
yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
you know this is going just in thin air, and you just continue to work here, at some point, I think that affects a lot. Like, because they're thinking, like, man, I'm doing all this for nothing, But you just gotta be smart, and you know,
Yeah, nobody's saying like
save your
don't.
money. Do not give your money to other people. That's
Yeah,
all.
nobody's saying like don't help your parents or your relatives, but just within your own means. Don't like it shouldn't like go
It
against
shouldn't
your
stress you out. It's not a
exact.
force.
Yes, yes, it's something that you willingly want to do it out of
Yeah,
your own like pleasure or your means or just do it. But other than that, just
yeah. Even
invest.
if it means, don't talk to them for the next 5 years, that's okay too.
Yeah, I mean, because like once your goal is in
If they are
plan,
gonna stress you out.
exactly right. Once you have your goal like at the right time,
Mhm.
when you
Trust me,
maximize your profit, your
they will.
interest.
They, once you build what you trying to build,
Hmm.
they will forget that
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah,
five
yeah,
years
yeah,
ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, like they will see that they will understand a lot of people back home because they don't have understanding of financial literacy or like how money is being really made. They
Hmm.
they're not gonna get you, man. Like they're really not gonna understand you. And even if you explain to them, they will still not understand you. I don't know whether some might want to understand you, but then they deliberately try not to understand you.
So do you think then people that are here need to be realistic with themselves?
But I think a lot of people over here are just not like I think some of them are not even financially literate. Some people don't even have a basic balance sheet. About how to know like the expenditure and the
But they
liabilities
don't
and
even have a bank account.
exactly right. I mean, I don't know, like if
A
you're talking
long
about
time ago, I had somebody call me. They told me they wanna start keeping my money for me in Africa. And I was
that's
like, I
that's
was like, I was like, you have a bank account? They said, no. I said, but I said, you don't even have an account. I have my own bank accounts. Like,
Exactly, right.
it's like,
And
so what? You're gonna put it under the mattress? Like,
yeah, and I was like thinking about it, even most people over here, they even think, I mean, honestly, even some educated people, they think even like
why would you
saving.
even give somebody your money to keep? Like, like people do this. Like the other day, somebody called me. He was telling me a story about him giving somebody
His money.
like $2,500, and when he needed the money back, the guy wouldn't give it to him. I was like, so how did he get the money? He's like, oh, I wanted him to keep it, hold it for me. I was like, you can't hold it yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man, because like sometimes some of our
See, let me
African
tell
people,
let me tell you a
they
story,
like
right?
to they like to they will not tell you the real story.
Yeah.
So, but
See,
to me it sounds weird. Why would you, as a grown man, hand
see, see, let me tell you a story,
money?
Afrodamus. I remember, cause like sometimes it takes you making a mistake for you to learn
Yeah,
something.
but giving somebody your money to, like, what, you can put it in your own bank account,
Yeah,
like,
that's just been crazy. I was just
oh,
gonna like, I was just
yeah,
like an example. Like I remember giving a relative that I really respected, and trust. I had when the COVID money came, I'm like, you know what, I don't need this money now. It's just like, let me just give to this relative to invest in their business. When I need the money, they're gonna give me the money back.
man, that's the craziest thing ever.
But today I never got the money back, and I
No,
learned
you
it the hard
wouldn't.
way. I learned it
Look,
the hard way.
so
I,
what? You were doing it to get interest back?
no, 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 no. I was just trying to help so that the person like can like no, no, it's a relative. They say like the business is booming, like they import like a lot of goods from China.
You see,
They're gonna make a lot of
this is
money.
what
So
gets Africans to
so
do.
I was just helping. No, I was just helping.
It's called, you were doing lazy investment.
No, no, I wasn't investing. Actually, it's a
Did this
relative.
person call you?
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, it was a relative. So I was just, instead of like going to a bank, so the bank is gonna like tax them interest. I'm like, you know what? This is just a money that I'm not using, right? So why not just give it to you
But
like
it's
whenever
your
you're ready?
money. You're gonna be using it. You're gonna
Yeah, I
use
mean,
it.
but I think it boils down to the point of trust, right? And I learned that the hard way that man,
Yeah.
you can't even trust your own relative. They don't know how to fulfill an agreement, right? So I learned it the hard way that even your own relatives, they
If you're
will
not
not fulfill.
if you're not willing to part ways with it, to give it up, never don't loan relatives money.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
don't
it's
do
almost
it.
like they kind of feel like the money was theirs, and they are
Yeah,
not
of
entitled to
course.
give it back to you. You know,
Right. You don't
and
mix, business with,
and
family.
then when you question them, they're gonna like they're
Feel
gonna
offended.
yeah, they're gonna even deflect and say, "Oh man,
Hmm.
come on, this little money, why you still asking?" You know
So
what I'm saying?
did you ever ask this person?
Yeah, I did ask when I needed the money at that time, and the person deflected. Yeah,
Hmm.
and I
Look,
learned it the hard
I
way.
know somebody, right? Years ago, they were going through like this immigration stuff, and the person got arrested by immigration, and they put him in jail, immigration jail. So he needed money, for him to bail out. He could have bailed himself out. He called his people in Africa. Mind you, he was requesting his own money that he was sending. They're supposed to be.
That's
He called
crazy.
them from jail. He told them, I'm in jail. They are like, you know what they said to him? They were
No.
like, who did you ever see sending money from Africa to America? It's like, look, I'm in jail. They are like, hey, they said, be a man.
For real,
They said
man.
this American jail is nice like a house. Can you believe that?
Damn.
Yeah.
Man, phenomenal, man. These people back home, man, like man, there's something wrong with the psyche, man. They are not thinking logically. And I mean, I don't know, like they still
Yeah,
don't get
that's
it.
cool though. Like, and I was like, I mean, like, trust me, I've learned so much, like just from being on the sideline. Not that I, like naturally, I've never operated that way. But my instincts and what I know to be true, I'm a very observant person.
Yeah, yeah.
Could be there, not saying anything, um, just listening and watching,
Yeah,
And
yeah. Even me myself, when I came to the state, even when I graduated and started working, I mean, I saw relatives of mine comparing me to other people. Like, oh, this is what he's doing. He's building this
right,
for his family. I'm like, what does it got to do with me? Why are you
exactly.
comparing me to someone else? Like, come on. Like, I'm not like. But that's how they always do.
Like,
They want you. They want you to 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 stress yourself, make a lot of money, so they can sort of fulfill their own personal egos.
yeah,
Oh
but you
my.
gotta be straightforward because the way I look at it, like one time I had one of my aunties, right, called me called me from New York. She was visiting there, and we were talking. She's like, I saw your picture. I was like, okay. She's like, but I don't like what I see. I was like, what is that? She's like, that thing on your head. I was like, what thing is that?
The dreads.
I'm just like, I said, what thing? She's like, you know what? I said, what thing? She's like, the long hair, blah, blah. I was like, oh, you mean my beautiful hair? She got quiet. She's like, you shouldn't have that. And I asked her, I said, what? You don't like dreads? She said, no. I said, well, that's fine. I said, you don't have to worry about doing the style. I love it.
Yeah,
So
but well,
that's why, that's why
who,
I said, I
I
love
forgot
it.
was like who planted in the minds of people that doing a dread or like a Rastafarian hair is a bad thing. Who planted? Because even in Ghana, a
Mhm.
student was prevented from going to a high school. He passed with flying colors, but because he had a dreadlocks, they weren't gonna admit him to
Yeah,
that school,
colonial
and
mindset.
and they had to fight the case in court before he was finally admitted. And he was of Jamaican heritage actually in Ghana. It's just crazy, like where even like the females, they always cut their hair like it's
I
just
see like in Ghana, they're strict. That I do see the females, they cut their hair. Like, why is that? Is that like a cultural thing?
no. It's like it's just like it's. I think it's a colonial uh, heritage thing. Like if you go to school, like they say, just cut your hair because they don't want you to be, they want you to focus on your studies instead of just trying to braid your hair or something like that. But they always favor.
But
They always
that means us in Gambia, then we're the hood. Then
yeah. But but the thing is, the irony is when you're a
well, when
kid.
I went to Christian school, you couldn't have dreads either.
Yeah, of course in Ghana you can even like the female, you can do afro bare minimum, but you can't braid your hair. It's not allowed. But if you come from the U.S. or the West or somewhere else, they don't have no issues with that.
Yeah, I noticed when I was there, they
This is
didn't have
crazy.
issues with my dress. But that auntie, she like said that, and I had to correct it because for me, like my conversations, what they do is they're gonna do it passively at
Hmm.
first. If they get you in, then they try to treat you like a child, you know, to try to
I
tell you
think I
what
know
to do. So me,
one.
I don't entertain it. I'm like,
I,
look, man, hey, you don't like dreads, you don't have to wear it. I'm the one wearing it. I'm an adult, you an adult. I'm not telling you what to do. Why are you
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
tell me what I should be doing?
Someone asked me even Muslim girls. Yeah, I mean, if the Muslim girls went to Christian schools, yes, they got to cut it off. Because they're not gonna allow you to wear no freaking veils in Christian schools in Ghana.
You know,
You got to conform to that.
when I was growing up as a kid, I used to always say that. I said, I cannot wait to be an adult because when I become an adult, when I was a kid, I used to say this. I said, I would never allow anybody, any other adult to tell me what to
What
do.
you do with your life. Yeah.
Right.
Even when I was in school, like, I used to be caned a lot just for having afro. That's why I don't have afro. And I've
They
seen a
used to
lot of
cane you.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course, in high school.
For the Afro?
And yeah, you know the surprising thing after that was the guy who used to cane me a lot or used to punish me a lot for just having afro, he's in the US now. And and I've always been wanting to ask him, like, ever
You
since he came
should.
to the US, like, has anything changed about like his thinking as to the way he treated me when I was in school back then? Because like they kind of made me feel like even just having an afro is like you're just a criminal, you know? It's
Mhm.
just, man, just the African is just like a lot of people. I kind of feel like there's a lot of people that could have been successful, but it's just like the kind of stigma they have for just having a certain kind of hairstyle has hindered a lot of, like, you
But
know,
you
the
see, in
success
the
of a lot of
African,
people.
that's the thing, that culture. Some people, you have to be rebellious to go against some of the things because it's like, seems like it's a lot of control.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it's like people going out of their way. I mean, basically, that's what we're talking about here, the mental slavery, because this is why you would see people, even they're far away, or they could be 50 years old, they still don't have a voice.
Yeah,
Like, I never understand that. Like, you people who are here sometimes also, you're working, you understand that how money is made.
yeah,
How can you
exactly.
take advice from people who have never made money?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Right.
that
I mean, I
makes
mean,
no
I
sense.
mean, after that was, if I was born in the hood, I probably would have, like, popped a lot of these teachers that mistreated me. You know what I'm saying? I swear to God, man. And a lot of the punishment was just having an afro, really, not even
Right.
braid or piercing, actually.
Yeah.
Just afro. You get canned, you get suspended for just having afro.
Yeah. So that teacher lives here in the States and you talk to him?
No, I haven't spoken. Man, he dare not speak to me. I don't like him until today.
Oh,
I swear to God.
if that's me, I'll have to confront him. I'll ask him.
No, he tried to message me on Facebook before. I'm like, man, I don't want to speak to you, man. I let
I
him know,
mean,
like,
if
man,
it was me, I would accept the
no, no,
message,
no, no.
and then I would invite him, for hiking. We'll go hiking.
No, he lives
Deep,
far away.
deep.
He lives in
Oh,
Texas,
I'll,
though.
I'll travel there.
So he
I'll
traveled there. All right.
invite him for hiking, for one day, you
He
know,
probably
and then
pretended
and then
nothing.
and then and then I'll, in the middle of the woods, far away. Then I'll ask him about, did he, about why he was caning me, and
Yeah, man.
in the meantime, I would make sure I find me a
I
nice
used to be
cane.
caning. I used to be caning, not for failing, just for having an afro.
Yeah,
Can you imagine that? Like the kind of
yeah. So,
backward
but
mentality.
you gotta invite him for hiking, man.
I heard he's in Texas. It's just, man. A lot of students at that time used to fear him a lot.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, like
invite him for hiking, and what you do, you visit,
he
because
probably has
because
changed. For them, he probably has changed. It's just the kind of like craziness they have back home, man. That's why and people wonder why the society never developed, because a lot of these people,
right.
the same people in those societies, when they go to other society, let's say like Western society, they tend to succeed or advance. So it clearly shows that there's nothing wrong with a human being. It has a lot to do more with the society and the system structured over there. People tend to blame the people. No, it's a system in place. It's just
Right.
the way the system is being structured. It's not designed to enable you to thrive or succeed.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Right. That's why you can't let them take you down. But thank you, Zongo.
yeah, exactly. Okay, thank you, Afrodamas, for having me, and shout out to the chat as usual. Peace.
Thank you very much. And that brings us to the end of the show. I will see you guys on the next one. All right. Let me see here. See you guys.
Bend thy ears to the freedomers. Pay attention to the freedomers. The true Soninke warrior. Naturalist his intelligence. As a true professor. Solution to brainwash diseases.
Sit back, relax, and hear the wisdom. Afri-Damas will heal your minds. Sit back, reflect, you'll find no objection. Afri-Damas will clear your doubts here. Always log on to the Afri-Damas. Lend thy ears to the Afri-Damas. Is the truth and no doubt. The Saninke warrior.